endless dread. Truth and lies fight in my head. Echoes of a war unsaid. I'll stand strong, won't be misled.
When you just come right there, why are you use first meaning? So when the community gets divided, it starts feeling like very, very odd.
Whisper secrets in disguise. I'll see through their hollow cries. Cut the strings, I'm breaking ties. Unfornicated won't be played. They're twisted games, I ain't afraid.
Oh my fucking god, say something! You've been beating around the bush!
In this battle, truth won't fade. Masked clowns spread their twisted tales, selling ghosts in endless trails. In the end, their story fails. I'll break free and lift the veils. Through the noise, I'll carve my path. Won't be swayed by
I think that was worth it. I was trying not to get myself bad. I think that was worth it enough. I know I'm too good at it. I see but red, that like the direct debate challenge that why you put it on screen. That was weird.
Truth won't fade.
Very good job of that inside. It doesn't make sense that it was.
Won't be swayed by hollow wrath. In my truth, I'll take a bath. Unfornicated, cleanse the aftermath.
Your name disappeared.
Unfornicated won't be played. There's twisted games, I ain't afraid. I'll shine light on their charade.
My wife wants me to drive somewhere to go get it. They were like, oh, no, I'm still there. Now they get leave.
Young life can also take over as where he is
In
next ready to places for the evening.
I think they're seriously asking. Okay, so or
dreams, swallowed words, twisted schemes, in the web where falsehood gleams. Unfornicated stands tall.
Camera's also off great spot right now. Been eating.
Through the sprawl.
Eric.
Clowns in masks start to fall. Truth bleeds bright in the brawl. Red-pilled bots lost in code. Twisted minds in overload. Unfornicated decodes, shattering the fragile abode. Whispers in the endless void, chasing ghosts they can't avoid. Words born to be destroyed. Reality they've never deployed. Eyes wide, truth may laugh. sounds abound. Unfornicated won't be bound, tearing myths from the ground.
Oh, look, we have audio problems because it's me. Hey, we got that out of the way. Great. Let's kick this off the right way. If you're here, thank you for sticking by. If you left, I'm sorry. Here's where we're sitting at right now. Welcome to Unfornicated. It's Friday night. Mike from the Drunk Debunk Show is still going to be out for a couple more days due to a family issue he's taking care of. I'm going to be filling in temporarily. We're going to be doing something tonight, and we have some brand new dirt to be hanging on for Sunday afternoon. But tonight, I got something else cooked up for you. We are going to be going to the Flat Earth Science Fair. So it's where critical thinking goes to die. And every hypothesis starts with a conclusion, because Earth flat. Now, apparently, Vika Draziev and his collection of panel mates, who all have one basically brain cell to shake amongst them, are going to go over this Dr. Shiva experiment and interview with Dr. Dave, or with Flat Earth Dave. Oh, hey, welcome, Raiders. FTFE, Max, and Rubik's rated the channel. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you for showing up, and thank you for everyone being here. I greatly appreciate it. Today, we are going to be talking about Dr. Shiva's conversation with Flat Earth Dave, or let me rephrase that. We're going to be talking about some collected geniuses, self-proclaimed geniuses, talking about Dr. Shiva and Flat Earth Dave and providing their own hot takes on what the scientific method is and what this experiment called the Final Experiment 2.0 should be. Hang on to your hats, pop your popcorn, grab your drinks. This is going to get ridiculous. So now there's one thing that they're always going to excel at is their understanding of science, right? But here's the thing. I kind of got a little insider knowledge about what's going to be going on with this panel and the requirements for it and the idea behind it because, well, I'm a participant. That's right. I will be joining this panel. And as such, I'm going to share some DMs and some emails and things like that, so you have a better understanding of what this actual experiment is about. So if you were to go on some of these other derpy ass live streams, when they start talking shit, you're going to have facts. So where do we stand on all this? Well, we stand very simply on the idea that, well, we're talking about flat earthers. So their understanding of science is basically going to be middle school at best. But enough of me talking. It's time for Clowns on Parade. Oh, my light's a little off tonight, but that's all right. And here we go.
First, it looked like Dave had a podcast with him, and then, according to Dave, Dr. Shiva was not responding, and then Dr. Shiva set up something, and then Dave was not present there, and then, right, many things evolving
According
right
to
there,
Dave,
right?
trusted source.
It sounded really interesting and curious, because people were like, yeah, why not, man? This guy sounds quite serious about doing those peer reviews, and
why not? Let's do an
doing
experiment.
a serious experiment.
That's right. Let's do a serious experiment to decide the shape of the Earth. What could go wrong, right? Oh, wait, TFE did that too, didn't they? Huh.
Right? So many things evolve, right? I would like to share the more present thing also, where it all could be, but I would also like to have a look, just skip through some of the parts where Dave had with Dr. Shiva a few months.
Fifth grade at best. Okay, Abrax, you got me. You might be right. Yeah. Is Vika the ringleader? Technically, it's his channel and it's his live stream, but he's not the one who does the majority of the talking. You'll see what I mean.
Months ago, right? So yeah, get your popcorn, get your tea, coffee, sleep, whatever makes you comfortable, and yeah, the link is there, pinned up right up there. If anybody wants to come in and have a chat or add to the conversation, is absolutely welcome. So I'll be playing right now some of the part of the interview of Dr. Shiva with Dave Weiss.
Is to open your mind to some questions that you may have never known that you had, and to point out some things that you assume to be true that are clearly not true. I mean, we're taught that we live on a ball. Have you ever questioned it? Have you ever?
All the time.
No, you haven't. You were told before you had the ability to think. You were told by your teachers. There was a globe in front of your classroom. Sesame Street had astronauts on it and globes on it. And
well, let me ask you one thing. So the experiment that they did in Antarctica, maybe we should start describing that.
It wasn't an experiment. It was an observation of a light in the sky. And that light in the sky is actually an impossible light that doesn't make any sense. So the question is,
oh, very curious. The first thing he puts on Dave is the Antarctica TFE. What happened with that one, PSYOP, right? Before we get into this one, what's happening there?
PSYOP. So let's bring up this final experiment that happened. And of course, it's an observation, not an experiment, not realizing that you need the two. But we're going to let him go a little bit. We're going to let him cook, because that's what we do. We love watching the derp. We love to watch them trip over themselves. And when they do, that's when we bring in the receipts. And that's when we're going to sit there and say, you're dumb, and here's why.
You're trying to build a house. Do you go and measure the ground, or do you measure the sky?
Oh, I guess this is from Dirt's channel. That makes sense.
Right? You measure the ground. Looking up at the lights in the sky, you can, the globe model was based off of the angles of the lights in the sky. And we can get into that. But
Yeah, Dave, why don't you get into that eventually? You know, you can explain to us your vast knowledge of geometry and how certain lights can only be seen certain ways from certain places and why it's not possible to see things like, say, Polaris from below 1 degree south, or why you can't see the Southern Cross above 23 degrees north, or why there's 2 sky rotations, or why there's a sunset, or why there's moons, and why there's not seeing backsides of moons and backsides of suns. You know, there's a whole number of things that we can go into this, Dave. Please expand upon this and give us your geometry take. Oh, wait, that's math. Dave doesn't do math. Dave doesn't do much of anything.
The lights in the sky make no sense. Let's get into it, because I'll show you how impossible the globe is. It's totally impossible. Here's the thing. Everyone has the same story. When I was first, I was doing a conspiracy podcast and people brought up flat Earth.
Are we live? Are you recording?
We're recording, sure. And I'll start wherever. So welcome, Dr. Shiva, or I'm on your show. I'm not sure which one it is, but we're having 2 conversations, two grown men having a conversation about the realm that we live in.
And Dave, what do you put it up on what, YouTube or
YouTube?
Facebook?
YouTube.
Okay.
All right. I normally let you, excuse me, I'm losing my
That's right. It's meth, not math. I'm sorry. Thanks for correcting.
voice a little bit. So I've done a lot of interviews. I normally you put it up and then I share your version. That way you get all the new views because we have a large audience. Monetize or anything.
Yeah.
I normally just try to people have been hounding you in your chat saying, hey, have you looked into flat Earth? And you agreed to have me on. So that's awesome. Thanks for having an open mind. And
I think about a year ago, David, just to give you an update.
Yeah.
So there's 2 positions I have on this, right?
Mm-hmm.
One is people should just collectively agree on an experiment, a very detailed experiment. And then people should go do the.
Doesn't it sound like very much like Will Duffy, right? An experiment, right? Both sides should be agreed, right?
Yeah, why should both sides agree? Oh, I know. So we can agree to things like methodology, the data collected, what the actual results of the data is going to be. And, oh, I don't, things like predictions. So let's do an experiment that we all agree on, meaning getting people on the record to say what sort of evidence they will fucking accept. Because has a flat earther ever admitted to that? No, they keep moving the goalposts. 24-hour sun's not possible on a flat earth. So said Dave. Now you ask him, it's 2 suns, it's 4 suns, it's 8 suns, it's Satan, it's a firmament, it's a reflection, it's a fucking flashlight. Take your pick.
And with the same shit, right? Both sides agreed without many people were not having consensus with that experiment with TFE, but somehow they agreed on it, right? Just because Jaren and Mr. Austin were selected.
No, they agreed on it because prominent flat earthers, Oakley, Whitsitt, Dave, Jaren, a bunch of others all said the same thing. 24-hour sun does not work on a flat earth. That's why it was decided. It's not hard. Come on, catch up. Vika, you're behind by about 9 months, bud. Hurry up and catch up.
So they agreed on it, right? There was many people who was already speaking before TFE that it doesn't change shit. Right? But still these people had to go, no, we are going to go and prove the flat earth. Because we just agreed, the so-called selected, elected representatives of both sides, which is the same fucking side, in the end was the same thing, right? In the end, there was only one side, was the globe side, right? The only lost soul was Mr. Austin right there. Yeah, really, they want us to believe that, right? But it was a one-sided game right from the beginning, right? We all knew that it was a fucking psyop because we knew that it doesn't prove shit.
Exactly. What has Flat Earth proved? Flat Earth hasn't proved shit. That's what it's done. Thanks, Vika. Stream over. Thanks for coming. All done. No, just kidding. Vika goes into a little tirade on here. Don't worry. He gets more people up. You can see there's his live chats running over here on the side. You can see the collection of derpitude that's going over there. And don't worry, people start coming up. We're going to have Tron from TikTok. He's always a favorite. We're going to have Ira, the Midwest punk rocker drummer, who screams and laughs his way to a PhD. We're going to have Ironwork 92 million and, and his hot takes. There's genius level of brain power coming up on this panel just momentarily. I promise you.
Yes, so sounds really, really similar, right? An experiment for the people to prove it.
Experiment, and they should accept the results of that experiment. So it should be, from a science basis, a verifiable experiment, right?
Right. So yeah, you're
the other thing.
Go ahead.
The other thing that I've shared is that, for me, right, we know there are infinite number of things that the swarm lies about, many things.
Mm-hmm.
So the issue is, we could talk about this, we could talk about a whole bunch of things.
Shout out to my brother for the super chat, brother. Just
so when she was talking about the swarm, actually, let me play this back in the background.
Really,
let him talk. When she was talking about the swarm, he's talking about mass media. He's talking about those in control and stuff like that. A little bit of a conspiracy leaning about the swarm that controls those people and keeps them enslaved, so they have to pay taxes, stuff like that. She was not hiding any of his beliefs. And while I may or may not share some of them, doesn't really matter in all this shit.
And
we're going to get into that.
To me, one has to build a bottoms-up movement of working people to address this.
Sure.
There's a lot of people grift off a whole bunch of stuff, and they have no interest in building any type of movement to get to truth, freedom.
Grifters have no interest in building kind of movement. Go figure.
Another shout out to our brother Ironwork for the super chat too, brother. The same thing goes for you. Really appreciate it. And the link is up there. We'd love to have you here too.
Health, you say?
Well, we're trying to do that. We're trying to build that movement,
No, you're not.
and they're trying everything.
The
Isn't
global
it,
conspiracy company.
if this thing evolves, right? Dave might even say this was designed for him, right? What is going to happen now? Right?
It wasn't designed with him. It was posed to him. It was an idea of saying, let's get together. Let's get some normal, sane people who know that the earth is a sphere, and let's get a bunch of conspirators who thinks it's flat. Get them in the same room, collaborate, work on identifying a single experiment that would prove the hypothesis one way or the other. That's what it was. It was posed to Dave. It's not built for Dave. It's being posed to Dave because Dave is the one who asked to talk to Shiva. Not hard.
There's a lot of things going on in the world with child trafficking and homelessness and wars and everything else. And people say, Dave, why are you focusing on flat earth? And the reason is because if you don't know where you live, who you are, what this place is, if you don't know that you're at the center of creation, that you have great power, then you can't do anything. You're lost in space, spinning out of control, and you're powerless.
If your realm has been created by a minor deity who could only make a snow globe as opposed to the vastness of the universe, and you're not the center of creation, and you're not these special kids of this deity, then they're hiding it from you. That's a dichotomy that's being posed here. Because NASA lies, NASA sends to deceive. Insert NASA meme here.
People think that governments rule over them. Nothing rules over you other than God, right? And so people don't realize they have free will. People just think that they're are stuck in this slave system, and the globe is a prison for your mind, right? And think about this. When people search flat Earth, they come up with this. This is stupid.
The firmament isn't a slave for everybody here. No. But the globe is enslavement of your mind. Make that fucking work, huh?
You see his body language, guys. Yeah, you see his body language. He's like, he's literally telling Jake to shut up. Literally. Right? Maybe not talk about few topics which, like, you know, kind of, like, he's not saying literally to Dave to, like, don't say that.
No, he doesn't
but, like,
want
you know,
Dave to run a
his body
script
language is showing
without
that,
answering some
like,
questions.
you know, the topic Dave is bringing out.
Stupid. Okay, no flat earther thinks that Earth is this, but this is what they want you to think. Like if you Google, hey, top 10 reasons the Earth could be flat, Google's going to deliver you top 10 reasons the Earth is a globe.
And by the way, there are some flat earthers who believe that shit. Just like there's one that believes it's a dome, that believes it's an infinite plane. There's so many different tribes and so many different variations. You can literally take your pick. It runs around for an infinite plane with a dome, with the extraterrestrial lands outside of it, like Dave, to, I don't know what shape it is, but it's definitely not a globe. Oh, sorry, I muted it. I thought I paused it.
On all of the, not a globe. And then I was afraid, the more I looked, the worse it got. And then I realized, oh my God, the Earth is not a globe. And then I was afraid to even talk about it because I'm like, oh my God, all of the other work I've done on all of the other deceptions is going to be discredited. But then I realized this is the truth. I have to do it. Back in 2014, when I was doing that, nobody was really open for a discussion on flat earth. It's like, you're nuts. But now people like yourself, other people are all doing it. You had an interview with Owen Benjamin. He fought it like tooth and nail. But now he's full on. He knows we don't live on a globe, right? I mean, this is 127,000 feet up, right? Whenever we send a balloon up, the Earth is white. Okay, it's white because of the thickness of the atmosphere, right? But NASA shows us these color graphic pictures of Earth. They're
Is there
Technicolor,
curvature in that one, or is it just me?
Look at this light here. It's a local light. It's lighting up this area right here, right? It's darker over here because this is a local light.
And it gets
what is it?
worse.
We don't know.
It gets
right?
worse.
But it's a local light for sure. It can be proven that. And you know,
I'm letting Dave run his script here because it's funny because Dr. Shiva lets him run the script for a minute and you can start seeing him getting bored real quick.
Hypothesis, then you would do another experiment. There.
Sure.
The scientific method says first you come up with a hypothesis. Step one.
Sure.
You can.
Okay, pay attention to this part. Whoops, sorry. Pay attention to this part because I want you to hear every single one of David's replies, okay? Flathead Dave and his infinite genius at work. Ready? Here we go.
Round or the Earth is flat. One.
Sure.
You can have a hypothesis that the Earth is round or the Earth is flat or the Earth is whatever, you know, multidimensional. Okay. It's not Earth. It's maybe 15th dimensional, whatever that is. Okay. Then the next thing you do, you agree that you're going to do an experiment.
Sure.
The methodology of an experiment. Step two.
Mm-hmm.
Then you gather data from that experiment.
Sure.
Okay. And you agree what data you're going to gather.
Sure.
So once that's step three in the scientific method, once you get.
That was a whole lot of sures that Dave is trying to find his way out of this interview real fucking quick. He sure as hell doesn't want to keep on with this interview. He sure as hell knows he's not going to be able to finish his script. He sure as hell knows he's going to be painted into a corner. Hi, Dave.
Like once he was explaining all these things of how to do the peer review and how to literally do, like, for the people, it was like, holy shit. Like, you know, the people were thinking, oh yeah, man, this guy looks serious and maybe he really wants to do something about the truth, right? The trolls, I'm not going to let on the trolls, so get the hell out. All right. Yep. So it was interesting. It was interesting, right? Like, wow, maybe looks like he raised the voice in the C19 thing, right? And other the GBGB stuff and all that stuff. He's a doctor, right? He's even claiming to be the inventor of the email, right? I don't know how legit is that information, right? Many people think it's not like that because there are different people who are claiming to be invented that, right?
No, not right.
So maybe the people think, oh, maybe he know how to go in this world of scientific thing and how to get your point across. Like sounded really legit, right? At that time.
It is legit.
But what was it behind? What it behind, right? Why now, right?
No, it's boring as fuck.
That is the reason, right? Are we getting more closer in political stuff? This is why could be becoming more political in the future, right?
Could flat Earth become more political in the future?
Just being
Maybe.
a conspiracy theorist group or community to right.
By the way, I want to bring this comment up to you as I went ahead and muted Shiva, or not Shiva, Vika. It's Shiva is dumb. Science is a cause and effect validation, not a what is validation. Science cannot prove a shape, followed by he has no clue what he's talking about. Yeah, I'm going to take some rando's name named Divergent Droid on as far as anything else goes. So yeah, sign up.
For sure he's going to do it. For sure. And recently I even heard Nathan Thompson saying that he's going to be meeting Jonathan, the producer of the documentary, right? He wants to jive with flat earthers now. For what? For sure. Because the documentary is in the making. That is the reason.
So Vega can't make a fucking sentence, but yet he's overturning all of science. Merry Christmas, people. Welcome to Flat Earth.
Why is he here now, right? Where are we going? Where is the community going in the near future?
That's the old beast, baby.
Gather that data, you organize that data, and then you produce a model from that data, what that data gives.
Sure.
It's not live.
If that data matches your hypothesis, you say, great.
Oh, is Mike on someone's show?
Here that's true.
All right, let's do it. I have
let me
one right
finish.
here. Sure.
Let's just go through, because a lot of people didn't learn this in third grade.
Yeah.
Which is, and I don't think the educational system teaches this anymore.
Okay, so Tron just came up. He's a TikTok flurf. Woodcast loves Tron. Woodcast is Tron's bane of existence. I'm going to let him talk in a minute, but here's the thing. She was talking about things that we should have learned in third grade, and some of us did, but it's a very childish scientific method. And, you know, this is where flurfs stopped learning about science, because that's all they think of as a scientific method. That whole, an observation isn't an experiment. Take your pick, right? Take any sort of derp you've heard over the last 8 months and insert it here. That's what this is about.
And then if you prove that.
Yo, Tron, how you doing?
Hey, what's going on, man?
Awesome. And you?
Doing good. Just stopping in.
You're a bit low.
Huh?
Hey, grounded extracts.
Are you a bit low? I don't know if my volume is too low, but how do you sign mic check?
I just turned myself up. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you, but yeah.
Okay.
I don't know about good.
On here.
Tron has to figure out his fucking mic.
It was good advice. I'll come back.
Yeah.
Vika, glad to be here, man.
Oh.
Oh, yeah.
So Tron has a mic problem. He comes back here in a minute because he changed his devices because it's a fucking conspiracy. Someone hacked his phone or some shit. Take your pick. The next person up, the next part of the clown parade we have is this man, Ira. Ira James, Proxy Earth Substack. Mr. Ira here is a punk band drummer and lives in the Midwest and lives a bunch of rednecks, and basically is confounded by the fact that there could be a flat earther who works 5 to 6 days a week has a family, and still can put out videos? Has this man ever had a job? Because, I mean, look, I have a career and I worked 5 days a week, mostly, sometimes 6, sometimes longer. Depends on what the network's doing, because I worked for an internet service provider. I make shit work on the internet. Sometimes it means staying up late. Sometimes it means working 18-hour days. It happens. But he's so confounded by the idea that somebody might work 5 or 6 days. It's like, holy shit.
Happy birthday, belated brother.
Thank you. Yeah, Libra season, man. It's today's the new moon. Well, it's a crescent moon in Libra. And for anybody who has an astrology sign of any particular thing, when the moon is in your sign, that is what's known as your solar plexus. And that has to do with I don't know, transcendental meditation and stuff like that. Astrology, whatever, you know.
Ira is a astrologer at heart. So there's your warning.
Particular. The Dr. Shiva guy just like totally talks over him the whole time. And all I noticed was this dude was just like railroading Dave on the thing and just like, hold on, it's overwhelming. One little baby step at a time. And it's just like there's something fishy with that. And then also it's like those experiments that he was presenting to conduct, this, you know, Dr. Shiva guy. It's like, okay, well, guys like you have already done them. We've already put our films out about this stuff.
All right. So Ira's jumping ahead because he's already seen this video and everything else. So we'll get to that. Basically what it comes down to.
Harvard papers, like whatever. Anyways, what's your take on what we're watching here so far? Have you seen this whole thing already?
Oh yeah, I have seen this whole thing before, but I was just playing here for the people to have idea what was like, you know, to refresh what he really wanted, right? Because the things are not what it looks like right now, right?
Yeah.
So right now it looks like Dave started this initiative with him, and right now Dave is not right there in there. There is supposed to be Mr.
Oh my God, Patch, that can't be true. I'm sorry. I call bullshit. That can't be true. Actually, no, wait. No, never mind. I can believe that.
Stuff. So what is happening there? And I think the experiment is happening without Dave and being there, Mr. Austin. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, so you're saying Dr. Shiva is going to do the experiment, but without anybody like Dave around? Is that the idea now? Like, what's the update? I only saw the initial conversation they had. That's all I actually saw. I don't know what they were planning on doing something. I'm sorry, I can't see the comments right now, just in case anybody's responding. But you know.
Oh yeah, the thing is, yeah, that looks.
We got Timu Santa in and Justin Johnson. These are local ZZ Top wannabe with a killer beard and a hot take about everything. And you honestly have to be fallacious to talk about this, to talk about the globe.
So, yeah, this whole Shiva thing, man, it's very interesting. I think they're running out of anybody and everybody who has any credibility. You know, that's a dying art nowadays, apparently.
Well, you know, it's just weird that we can't just go look at it for ourselves and be like, that's what we saw. Okay, just go outside, look, it's flat, whatever. It's like, well, now it's like, well, we could get this peer reviewed. It's like, that's not exciting. We're sick of this scientific dictatorship. Like, that's what we live in. We live in something, and we live in an autocratic system that at the top of people's agreed upon reality is the lowest common denominator of acceptable truth, which is of science. And then the science that they're doing doesn't even follow the scientific method. So then it's just like based on what? The hearsay of people who are peer reviewing it at this point. And
it's all about gatekeeping, right?
In a way, yeah. And I mean, you know, okay, longest distance photography, 273.4 miles. The photo's already been taken. And this dude just wants to so he wants to go and validate and then slow down. What I think it is, I think it's just like buying time for whatever, you know, just because this monumental truth is getting out.
So Ira here, who seems to think that the monumental truth is getting out, and you know, thinks that that science is autocratic and gatekeeping, and I forget what else he says because I tuned out there in the middle, and somewhere about the lines of, you know, never took a science class he hated, is providing his hot take on what the scientific method is. Because these are the people, granted, all right, I want you to take a deep, hard look. These are the 4 people, 5 if you count Dave. These 4 people are going to overturn centuries of science. And he never passed middle school. Now, one of the things that she was talking about was to, when they get the experiment done, he wants to get it published and get it peer reviewed. Now, we all know peer review is not necessarily gatekeeping. It's to validate and repeat a test. You should want us to do that unless you know for sure that the Earth's not a globe. Wait, sorry, unless you know for sure the Earth is a globe, in which case you don't want anyone to test it because you'll be wrong. They don't even understand. Supposedly they all watch this video. They don't even understand what Shiva is saying. It's like there's a translation in their ears where it goes from Shiva saying one thing and them hearing something else. It's like cogniz in hallucinatory form. Drop some acid, listen to this tape, and you hear your own shit that you want to hear.
About this, and it's like, you know, now we do have the equipment and we do have the, you know, philosophy videos that unpack the TFE mess. Like we can make our arguments and show and tell them, but it's just crazy how far they're going to buy themselves time to maintain the subsistence of the globe sorcery. That's what this is. It's you know, I think the globe thing and gravity is black magic, and I think it's just slowing down people's ability to connect with themselves.
Okay, gravity and globe is black magic. Look, I don't even know where to start unpacking that one, but it's to make you so you disconnect from yourself. If there's not an argument from personal credulity that I've ever heard, it's that. What that man just said just takes personal incredulity to a whole new level. And I tell you what, if you ask him, there's not a thing that man doesn't understand. He knows it all.
Oh yeah, absolutely, brother. And I also agree that this is the thing, no, right? Having him here as a peer review, a science guy, right? Not just some fake pastor, right? Or con artist, right? Somebody with a degree, somebody like who has like really scientific background is
Vladdy in the house.
Gonna look into this and we're gonna solve it, right? That's what it looks like, right?
It is solve it for you.
Let's say hello. Yeah, let's say hello to Ironworks is also there with us. Vlad, how are you doing?
Hey family, what's good? What's good, Vika? Thank you for having me. JJ, Ira, what's happening?
Great to
Tron,
see you,
I think Tron is around. Good to see you, bro. Good to see you. Yeah. I didn't want to steal your thunder, Vika, but yeah, you're right on the money, Ira. You are right on the money. Let me tell you, with having him interview Dr. Shiva, it's supposed to make waves because Dr. Shiva is a Harvard scientist, quote unquote, or a Harvard alumni as well. So that name alone carries a lot of weight. And
okay, so this is so fucking dumb. I can't believe I have to do this. Dr. Shiva is not from Harvard. Okay. Dr. Shiva is from MIT. He has an undergraduate degree in electrical engineering and computer science. He took a master's degree in visual studies from the MIT Media Laboratory on scientific visualization. He also completed another master's degree in mechanical engineering, also from MIT, so did 2 at the same time. And obtained a PhD in biological engineering from MIT and systems biology. Harvard's not listed in any of that. So if they can't even get what university he went to right, what makes you think they're going to get the rest of this right? Like something as easy as Harvard, MIT. Those sound so alike. How do you confuse the two? They're both on, I mean, shit. They're both on the same side of the Charles River, I guess. They're both in Cambridge, kind of. Yeah, Avi Loeb is Harvard and still makes mistakes. I won't get into Javi today, but they bring up Avi Loeb right now, and it's fucking hilarious.
And people will pay a lot more attention if it's run by a Harvard personality.
Harvard.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
so kind of like what he said, what Ira said. It makes a lot more sense to have him kind of take the steers and control of it, and then that way they could do whatever they want with it. So, I mean, still, just because it's a Harvard dude doing it doesn't matter whether you're in Harvard or whether you work for McDonald's. If you got the know-how to do this experiment and the money to do it, then you do it.
Yeah.
Actually, this is the thing. We, you know, it's funny that they're conducting the experiment because it's, again, it falls in the laps of those people that want to have control of it. And
So anybody can do an experiment, Vlad says, whether you went to Harvard, MIT, or you work at McDonald's. Not wrong. And then they said they gotta follow the scientific method. Well, that's when things start going wrong. And if your premise is already wrong to begin with, you can imagine how much we divert from there. It's the epitome of standing on the North Pole. Actually, I take it back. It's the epitome of being on the equator and looking south on a flat Earth in every different direction. That's how wrong they get.
my thing is, you don't need money. All you need is a calm body of water or a body of water, right? And then you conduct it. You don't need that money, but again, because we're not doing the debates. We're not doing those fuck games with those damn globe people. They're losing. And so again, it goes to what JJ says, that anybody and everybody with some kind of street credibility, they're going to go to. But it's almost like it's too late. Like, it doesn't matter what Dr. Shiva runs it, Dr. Scholes, Dr. J, Dr. Pepper. It don't matter who runs this experiment.
That is Vlad's Mount Rushmore of doctors that he knows. Dr. Shiva, Dr. Scholes, Dr. J, and Dr. Pepper.
It is what it is. It's going to stay flat. So I don't know.
It's going to stay flat.
I agree
Game
with
over,
you, man.
Louis.
And I want to respond real quick if that's okay. Sorry to interject. It's just like, I think that, like, that's it. It's like, they're going to be able to get funding. Okay, so what's happened to everybody who, like me, a hardcore musician from the Midwest who, like, was in arts and stuff, and then, I go around and I'm really loud about what I know. I think the Earth is flat, and then dinosaurs don't exist, so on. Many things I can't say on YouTube. Whatever. Proxy or Substack is where I can say it. But with all the stuff that we are outspoken and putting this work forth about, there's no monetary reward for it. We know it is a spiritual form of gratitude I have for other people to just share what we found out about this.
Yeah, Ira, you're absolutely right. I am absolutely sure Mr. Potato Head here and his $3 app with $11 fee is absolutely in it for spiritual gratification. No doubt. 100%. And you guys notice the tone at the beginning where he's like, all these Globers get the funding and have money. Yeah, motherfucker, I got a job. The job allows me to pay for streaming services. It allows me to buy some lead bricks to do a Cavendish experiment in my garage. It allows me to travel somewhere and buy camera gear. It allows me to do all this other stuff that I can do, but it's not paid for by NASA. It's not paid for by anybody. Well, I guess it's paid for by my job, but they don't know I do this shit, so what the fuck does it matter?
But what this is, when it comes to these funded things, that is a way for them to get the upper ground by having more money than all of us. And
So flat earthers are broke, and that's why we have the upper ground. Jesus Christ. Oh my God. I thought the movement's growing exponentially. You have millions of flirs to tie back to, right? Come on. Crowdsource. GoFundMe. No one gives a shit about whether or not Roger goes to Antarctica on his GoFundMe, because if it wasn't for his $3,400, he'd still be sitting at around $1,000 somewhere. How he got $1,000 beyond me, but he still had $1,000. Do any of us really think he's going to use that for fucking going to Antarctica? No. Plot twitch. Plot twist. Your boss watches your videos. He might.
Everyone who has done the autonomous research of this, whether it's like someone selling their own books or it's
hold up. Did he say autonomous research?
Research of this, and everyone who has done the autonomous research of this, whether it's like someone selling their own books or it's people like literally working all the time, and then
you mean like it was autonomous research, which I thought was pretty interesting choice of words. Here's the other thing too, besides that word salad, people selling books. Yeah, you mean like the Flat Earth Jesus, who's selling a book of other people's memes on X and on Amazon for $200 a copy? You mean like that guy? He's definitely in it for spiritual gratification.
With their free time, like finding time to make, philosophy videos and stuff. Like, dude, I found out like a year ago that Terry Eicher dude, the Flat Out Truth channel, he like works 5 or 6 days a week, and it raises his family, and he freaking makes all these awesome videos all the time. So he barely has time probably to just sit still, or he's not kicking his feet up and playing video games. Let's put it that way. But
let's see. Mike from the Drunk Debunk Show. Dave McKeegan. Let's see. Me. DP Debunks. Copium Emporium. Canadian Space Advocate. Some of these guys are retired and everything else, but like most of us on the content creator side and the smaller channels have full-time jobs and work 5 or 6 days and do videos. It's not that big of a fucking deal, but it's more like he's surprised that somebody works 5 or 6 days. How'd you get that gig? Can I get one too? Yeah, not a chemtrail in the sky behind him either, folks.
That's what's been going on. So then you get these guys who are sitting in their chairs and they're just getting automatic paychecks because they're in academia. And then they get the advantage so that they can speak in front of us when we're the ones who know all about this. And they're going to be like, oh, slow down. Let's peer review that thing you just said. And then they can just make sure to buy time for what's going on is a full-on multi-continent totalitarian issue, which we all know what that is. And I don't have to explain it to anybody listening here, but
yeah, because he doesn't want to hurt the stream. But we all know what he's getting at, right? We all know what he's talking about with the global conspiracy companies. Who runs them, right? That's who he's talking about.
They're buying time for
absolutely.
that.
Oh yeah, brother, absolutely. And I hope we got Tron back. Tron, are you here?
Hey, yeah, can you guys hear me okay?
Oh yeah, you sound good now.
Yeah,
you sound perfect.
Moved to a different device. For some reason, my icon's not showing up, but who cares?
Yeah, it's much better on the sound.
All right, yeah, I don't know what happened. I'm on a different device, so I'll fix it later.
Good to see you, man.
So yeah, what do you think about Dr. Shiva?
Well, I'm kind of late to the conversation here. He's having a conversation with looks like David Weiss. So what is he just being a bud or what?
He's just being a bud.
Yeah, let's listen to it a bit.
Yeah.
Your data and that model matches your hypothesis, then you would do another experiment.
Correct.
And you iterate over and over and over again. Correct. And if you say that it's reproducing, and if you say at this point in time, based on the data we have a law that the Earth is XYZ. Okay.
Got it.
So let me give you an example just to be, so let's just set the framework of science here. And or we agree the framework's not true. First, in biological and engineering systems, you manipulate a system of some kind, then you measure the data from that system, and then you mine that data, and then you model it. It's called the 4 M's.
Okay.
So manipulate, measure, mine, and model. It's
Yeah, and the best part is the flat Earth have all that.
I know.
Flat Earth has all that. Ira's laughing. Flat Earth's handing all that. I'd love to see some of the data you guys have. Can you please make it something that hasn't been debunked before, like some variation of "we see too far," where you guys can't do basic math? Give me something. Doesn't have to be about special relativity, general relativity. Doesn't have to be about Maxwell's laws or anything like that. No laws need to be touched. Just give me your evidence. You know what? And here's the thing, like Shiva's explaining the scientific method, and these guys are taking offense to it. I wonder why.
Oh,
Right.
We're
This
over
guy-
here making films and
I know.
just being like, will you guys please watch our films? Whatever.
This-
Like
This guy's just talking a bunch of crap. It's just a bunch of word salad because he's got I can see already how this is going to go.
and dude, and Tron, I'll tell you, I've seen this interview while you were dropped out of the call. I'll just catch up. I have seen this full interview. Dude, this Dr. Shiva dude is rude as fuck to him the whole time. Like extremely rude and acting like, oh yeah, well, because you're Flat Earth Dave, you must not know what the scientific method is. So he has to like go back to acting like Dave is in the 8th grade or something on the interview.
Well, to be fair, he actually might know who Dave is and knows why he has to explain the scientific method to him. Maybe you should shut up and listen, Ira. It's not your show after all. It's Vika's. This is where Ira takes over the entire fucking show.
It's like,
very
dude,
egotistical.
this is what we've been dealing with anyone who is capitulated to modern academia and this totalitarian scientific stuff, where it's like, okay, the materialist reductionists essentially,
Right.
who like to peer review things into extinction, but like all of that doesn't. It's just a bunch of fluff, man. You know,
But that's the reason.
I need a bottle of Hubris Valley Ranch after that little tirade.
Exactly. That's the reason. That's the reason he's like acting like that, because he don't want to blah blah in another way, like, because he for sure think Dave is going on tangents, right? Speaking
Yeah.
about things that you can't really prove. So he wants to pinpoint it down to one thing,
Nah,
right?
he
So
wouldn't
he's
even- he
being
wouldn't
repeating it.
yeah.
I had a guy come on my live one time, this about a couple 3 weeks ago, maybe longer, that was a physics professor, right? Turned his camera on and all this, and we were talking
I'll
about
take shit that
my
didn't happen
favorite
for
topic
400,
was
Alex.
motion of Earth, or the lack of the motion of the Earth. And I backed him down, buddy. I said, prove
I'll
it.
take shit that didn't happen
Prove
for
it.
800,
We got
Alex.
into Michelson Morley. We got into all this stuff. I said, get it out. He had all these books. I said, get the book out and prove me wrong right now. And he couldn't do it. He couldn't show that Michelson Morley proved that there was no ether. I said, prove it. Show me.
Yeah.
He could not do it.
I'll take shit that didn't happen for 1,000, Alex.
Right.
So it
Right.
can be done. Of course, it's the Wild West. I don't let them get away with it. I just slam them.
Yeah.
Oh
dude.
yeah, no diploma or degree can make the water curve. It's a very
Exactly.
old meme of mine.
Well, I don't know. I'm familiar with this Shiva guy, but I didn't know that he was going to be interviewing Dave here. So interesting.
And yeah, like Ira and Vlad are here nodding their head and laughing along like they know what the fuck's going on. See, their version of the scientific method start with the conclusion, Earth flat, then ends in a meltdown when they can't prove it. But we see too far. Have another cracker, Polly.
Yeah, these Globers have to appeal to their credentials hardcore. You know, that's how they do a lot of their gatekeeping. And, you know, that even if you hold their feet to the water, they'll come back tomorrow and act like it never happened with the same exact arguments.
Because you don't hold their feet to the fire. And guess what? There's quite a few of us who don't really have a lot of credentials. The only credential I throw around is, guess what? I was in the Navy and I did radios. Therefore, I know the Earth is a globe. That's my credential. No college, no bachelor's, no master's, no PhD, none of that shit. But you guys can't explain how a radar radio horizon works. Pure and simple. Roger thinks he can because his dad was in the Navy and did radar for 2 years, Roger Ledwell. So he learned by osmosis, apparently. But you think he has any sort of answer for it? No. Fakatsoid and Sov and all those guys think that they have an answer for it. They use an MS Paint drawing that fucking a 2-year-old would be embarrassed of. And then turns around and say, where's your radar horizon when you're shooting radar at the supposed sun? But yet you guys think you can talk over every piece of science and everything else, and you know the scientific method, and you know everything that's going to be said, and you put everyone's feet to the fire, and you clown everybody with a PhD. Right. Tell you what, Tron, put Dr. Blitz in his place. Let me see that. And do it without saying nuh-uh, do it without rage quitting and then claiming victory, and do it without actually having to claim victory, because according to dance law, if you have to claim victory in an internet debate, you already lost. Decidedly so.
Yeah.
They just assault you with word salad and then act. It's just like the whole like simple thing of, yeah, you just act like you're better than everyone by torturing people with chalkboards who people in America go $500,000 in a debt to like what? Get lied to? Like even the medical.
Torturing people with chalkboards. Anyone want to guess what Ira's truancy record was through high school? We need to find that out.
Institutions are still teaching people and feeding their heads about gravity. And at the end point of what they are attempting to prove, they're like, their final word is inertia, and they just sit there. And it's like, that is a dark place to sit because that's not real, and you're getting played. So, you know, I that's why, you know, autodidacts figure this out more quickly. I'm pretty sure all of us in this chat are all autodidactic to a degree, because we're not like subservient to this university system, which is like fully like automated. You know, this like.
Ira recently learned what autodidactic meant, apparently, because he throws it around like no tomorrow. Yes, you can. Most people can learn on their own. Do you know what the difference is? Do you apply it? Do you apply it and get experience with it? Do you apply it and prove it? Have any of you clusterfucks on this panel taken your theory out into a field without a preconceived condition or conclusion and done it, proven it, applied it? You taught yourself physics. Did you apply the physics? Did you have someone who knows physics and has applied physics look at your physics work to decide whether or not you actually know it? Or are you just word sounding your way through it to make yourself sound intelligent? Take your pick.
Like smiley dictatorship.
Yeah. I think that most of us that have done a lot of study on this for a long time, I think we know way more than any of these so-called scientists or physicists, and we know so much more than they do.
Yeah, because they're stuck in their respective specialty fields. When they get bent to a degree, and then they get hyper specific on the respective specialty field. Like
Tron just said he knows more than every scientist, every physicist, everything else. And then Ira backs him up by saying, yeah, because they go into specialty fields. Because a physicist with a relativity background and a physicist with a particle background and a physicist with a marine architecture background and a marine physicist with or a physicist with another background, they all should just be physicists and not have any specialties, because specialties aren't needed. These aren't complicated. These are simple stuff. I built a soapbox race car. I know physics. Ta-da! That's what they're doing.
The airplane engine mechanic who works on the torus field generator or whatever, they only do that, right? But they're still using the method and just perfecting it, right? So it's like you can't have omniscient or a four-dimensional point of view about a lot of this stuff. And back to the fundamentals, if it disagrees with experiment, it's wrong. And like if there's no experiment to prove that we're on a whirling sphere vortexing through space and stuff, if you can't feel the motion, then how is it detected? And then they'll be like, well, look at this cartoon.
Oh yeah, or they'll make up something. Well, they always use the following statements. Imagine this.
Yeah.
They want to get into this hypothetical thing. I don't let anybody get away with it. I say, look, I'm tired of having to imagine what you're telling me. Let's just talk about the science.
That's funny because you guys imagine everything.
What do you got? Let's just break down. I just get right into it. What do you got? They always have nothing.
Yes.
Every
so
single time they got nothing.
They won't even like I've even gone so far, like, and I know we've talked about this, Tron, but I've gone so far to be like, hey, surely there's a film that could help me, like I really want to watch it. If there's an 8-hour long film where all these guys put together their hardcore proofs of the globe, I'll watch every minute of it, and that sounds fun. But guess what? They're never going to make that, because they can't make that, because you can't force the world to be it.
I make it easy on them. I'm like, help us out, man. Anything.
Yeah, I'm just sitting here being like, I'm wide open. I'm willing to look at what you got, and they never show anything. They
got nothing.
Because
Go ahead, Vika.
Yeah, this is the thing. The peer review, for example, the peer review these people want to do about, for example, something like this, right? Why the hell they don't do the peer review with their black matter and black holes and all these pseudo?
It is peer reviewed. One thing I want to notice, you notice that we are at 43:33, a whole lot of threes in there, in the video. And I don't remember when the last time they had, hold on, I got to go back to 43:33 here. That's close enough. When was the last time that one of these guys moved? Like, they've played 5 minutes of the video, if that, and they're already 43 minutes in.
To debate, because everybody just gobbling it up for face value from these so-called
Aldebaran, black matter
priests.
The people, and the people who oppose it are all working jobs, so we don't get thrown out in the streets. So it's like, okay, so we kind of have our weeks built up with like these Riddler's trap that we got thrown into, and everything's getting more expensive, right? So it's like, if we oppose it, it's like, okay, well, we have 2 days per week to do something about it. So it's like, we have to really strategize. And I think it's just the pen is mightier than the sword as far as like how we solve this, because to oppose this is to actually put the pen to the paper and distribute better information and allow people to just decide for themselves what they feel and what their intuition decides they're seeing. Like, I welcome people to laugh at me, man. Like, I think it's fun. I like
it's imperative to learn what fallacies are, because you absolutely have to be a walking, talking fallacy to push the narrative of living on a spinning ball of water on a sphere. You literally have to be fallacious.
Yeah.
Thank you, Justin, for that input. JJ, Timu Santa absolutely just said, you should learn what fallacies are, because you absolutely, positively, without a doubt, have to be fallacious to spout globe bullshit. I don't know about you, but I'm getting convinced. I don't know if I can take much more of this.
And
But I
and
think
and
yeah,
the
go ahead.
people who came up with the sphere, like they're like laughing. They are having fun with this shit. They're like, I mean, they've been doing that. They knew what they were doing all along, and you know they've been trying this even before in history. It's just they finally got one that got off on track, and then 20th century school system. There was even people who have been, you know, who 2 or 3 generations behind us who at least saw both models in the schools.
No,
But
they
that's
didn't.
the point. The public schools are there.
No, they didn't.
Those are compromised in every way because, you know.
And you would have evidence of this, Ira, right? You're not just making a claim. See, here's the thing. And this is the thing I kind of want to make adamant is that because they're taking so long to get to this, I'm kind of playing the derp so you can kind of see how dumb they are. I went looking for timestamps, but every time I wrote a timestamp, they'd say something stupid right after. So then my timestamp got extended. This whole 3 hours and 43 minutes is nothing but derp. And it's painful derp. So I'm going to let this run and add some commentary here in the middle for a little bit. But in another 20 minutes or so, I'm going to pause and I'm going to show you what the actual experiment is going to be about. Because again, I am a participant and I will show you the messages. I will show you the receipts and I will tell you what exactly it is we are going to be doing and why.
Like we know, but.
Can we watch more of the video now?
I like talking about this. I think we should talk about it. Let's get right into it. You know, that's what I do. I go right into it. Heck with imagining things. Heck with talking about all these scenarios. Let's talk about the science. Either you got it or you don't.
Tron, you have a passive science class in elementary
Let's talk
school.
about it. Most people, the average globe believer, knows nothing. I have to give them all their talking points, as you guys probably do the same.
Yeah,
Then
no, we know their measurements better than them.
Right.
It's
Then if
really
you get
bad.
somebody that comes up halfway prepared.
Vlad's down there laughing because he's like, yeah, that's right. We give them all their measurements. I know them all. But yet he doesn't debate flat earth. He can't provide any measurements. And if you listen to a single one of his stream, he never gives one shred of evidence. His thing is, it's flat. We know it's flat. There's nothing to debate. There's nothing to talk about. That's it.
Then they don't realize that we're even more prepared.
Why?
Bruce asked if I had the opportunity to go to Antarctica, would you? Absolutely. In a heartbeat. I would do it in a heartbeat. And just because I only have 2 continents left to hit, and that's one of them. So, yeah. And the other one I would hit on the way to Antarctica and South America. So that would be great. No, I would do it in a heartbeat. And guess what? I would do it to enjoy it. I would do it for the experience. I wouldn't necessarily go down there to do it to debunk flat earth because it doesn't matter what the fuck I do down there because these guys won't accept it anyway. I could rant and rave for a year asking anybody and everybody what they will accept, and I will get nothing. Nothing. And we've seen that with McKeegan, with MC Toon, with Critical Think. Nothing. Jerianism, nothing. They all are saying what they want to say, and they're all saying the same thing. You had months to tell us what you would accept, and you said nothing. And then on the McKeegan, the McKeegan debate with Flat Earth Reconnaissance, that's a subject for Sunday, by the way, is going on, and Vlad, of all people, Ironwork 92,000 down here, jumps up on Sam's thing to sit there and say, where's your tickets? Knowing full well that journalism burned them with the magnifying glass to prove it's the real sun. Yeah, that's intellectual honesty right there. No, Dave, we don't want to see yours. No, we don't care about yours. Because we know you didn't destroy yours. We want to see the one who we know who destroyed him. Fucking retards, every one of them.
Would thousands and thousands of scientists all lie?
Simple. I tell them they're not lying. They really believe it. They believe
a lot of them really do, but
they do. It's just like NASA. They say, well, why would all these people that work for NASA lie? They're not. They literally believe this crap. They
Well,
only,
I would
only
say
the
some
top
are,
tier.
man. I
The
think
top tier. The
I
top
think
tier are lying.
I think some of them are lying, and
Well,
they
the
know
cog-
they
the
are.
top tier. The
The
top tier.
cognition's
Sure,
thicker
sure.
with those people because their entire career depends on it, right? So they
Right.
have too much
Exactly.
to lose.
They need to take their paycheck, and if they have to, whatever have to lie, they have to lie, right? They might be not even doing shit, and they said you cannot communicate this even with your family, right? And that if that's how you get paid. You don't give a shit what they're doing behind the wall, right? Even
Yeah.
they're like just playing with toys there. They have to say that they're doing something. Like
Now, here's the thing, though, that these geniuses don't understand. If you go and look at a scientific paper, you read the abstract. Now, don't read the headline. Well, read the headline to make sure you're on the right one. But don't stop there. Whatever you do, don't stop there. Then read the abstract. So now you get an idea about what it's about. Call it a summary. Okay? Let me make it easy for you. Then scroll down further. Now, it might help you if you pick a paper that maybe isn't behind a paywall. There's lots of them out there. Pick one. Pick one that you're able to do. That's within your means. And then you take that paper and the methodology and the data and you fucking verify it. You peer review it. You test it yourself. They don't know how to do that. Why the fuck not? Because they don't understand science. They are clowns on parade. Honking horns, squeaking their noses, being nothing but loudmouth ignorance, while everyone points and laughs at them, while they think everyone's pointing and laughing with them. That is flat Earth in a nutshell.
like
Yeah,
classified shit.
and so long as we're living in a system where people are at a basic agreement to pay to live, if the basic amenities of things, like, yeah, as long as people are paying to live, which I don't think people in the old world were. They were building castles and cathedrals. Like, pretty sure people who are doing that want to do it, but like, as long as they got people on that hamster wheel, that's how they're controlled. Because, dude, if we weren't on this hamster wheel, we would look at like people who have a ton of money and laugh at them, like as if they were hoarding paper clips. Because, okay, now you have $1 billion and you're rich, but like, okay, no big deal. You get to have your mansion. I get to have my whatever I want to build, right?
Cardboard
and we
box.
don't need to be paying to live. And the point is all this science trash and all this money going to NASA and the military and stuff. All that is just to take it to the future of science. The tip of the spear of science is going places, and we're all paying for that. Well, I mean, I'm not, whatever.
Yeah, you don't pay taxes, Ira.
But the thing is we collectively they're stealing that money, and then they're not going past the sky. They're just pulling on your legs, and they just pocket the money. And to think that they wouldn't do that is actually insane. Like, that is what's going on. And
Davids, if you'd like to know who Ira James is, just do a search for Ira James Proxy Earth on YouTube and you will find him. Hardo, we have no idea what the Hot Pocket's talking about. I can't fucking figure it out. It's just all word salad at this point.
Yeah, exactly. And all they have to do is keep the illusion going of fake space and the control of this white coat authority control of what they say, like, discover
Fake space
is what the reality. They know they have been suppressing many people with real science and real data, real experiment, right? That they don't want to reproduce.
And
right?
they'll
Vlad,
use
they're not
this
along as he's
condescending
driving.
dude from Harvard to have a sad face about like trying to provide exposition for this, and when they put it in pieces of paper and whatever, nobody's gonna read it. Meanwhile, we're over here being like, okay, we have films and the Globe doesn't. Like, that's like how weird.
If there's not proof of a literacy problem, there it is. You're going to put them on these pieces of paper and no one's going to read it, but we got films or whatever and you can watch that. There you go. Flat Earth in a nutshell.
It's gotten. And I mean, And trust me, like I know from experience what it's like to step into this realm, hear about the theory of flat Earth, and
You're not
just
wrong,
be
Patch.
immediately like repulsed by the idea, because it's like you're not repulsed by it, but maybe you're like, you know, you want to start laughing, you know, and that's cool. But like once you took a closer look at it, it's like, well, let's entertain a thought here. And that's the role of philosophy, is that, you know, philosophy and theosophy is supposed to step into those realms and entertain a thought. It doesn't hurt to entertain a thought. The only thing that really happens is some people entertain the thought of flat Earth and then they try to disprove it, and
Hey,
then they
Cope,
turn
how
out
you
like
doing?
us. And you know, everybody keeps finding out. We can't unsee it, and then they have to like pay people like Karenism to pretend to go back to the globe. Like, dude's, you know, Jesuit cultist. That's what that guy is. But
there we go.
yeah.
Exactly,
You know,
and
we
it's
should have
so
kept track
fast
of
that
all the
this
different
thing
ones.
was out after that, and right.
We should have kept track of all the ones that Ira had said. By the way, they still have not played any more of this video. Keep that in mind.
The globe, or to prove the flat Earth, or to destroy the flat Earth, a psyop, a hit piece. Guys, let's listen to this a bit more.
The model matches your hypothesis, you continue. If it doesn't, you have to throw away your hypothesis was false. It doesn't matter whether you're wearing a red hat, a blue hat, doesn't matter how wealthy you are, it doesn't matter if you're good looking or not, you're just fucking wrong.
Yep.
So I think
And those who are astute enough would know where he got that comment from. I'm talking about Dr. Shiva.
Got one for you. I have one for you. An example.
But wait. Do you agree this is a scientific?
Yeah, 100%.
Now watch, Ira is over here going fucking apeshit right now. Okay, just.
Yep.
Okay. So now, if someone says the Earth is round, okay,
Yep.
or someone says the Earth is flat, they have to propose an experiment
Let's do it.
that everyone agrees to. Okay.
I got it.
And then they go. So before we go there was a recent experiment that was done in Antarctica, right?
It was not an experiment. It was an observation of a light in the
Okay.
sky under very sketchy circumstances. Let me show you.
No.
I mean, that's a pretty good answer. I don't know.
Holy shit!
I'm leaning towards studio, but yeah, like I'm pretty. Yeah, well, do you see what I'm saying though? Like this Shiva dude like chops him down and won't let him finish the sentence. Like, it's insane.
Okay.
No, but
Oh wait, he started again. I thought he was going to go on another tirade. I misplaced this. Hold on.
that too. But Dave, that is an experiment because
It's not.
What I
it
would have
is.
told
An
him.
experiment is where you propose.
Go ahead. I'm listening. Go ahead.
No, go ahead,
Look at
go
this
ahead, Tron.
fuck.
No, he may tell him, but I would have said, well, like you were saying, Dr. Shiva, this needs to be done multiple times. And where's all the other scientists flocking down there to do this this so-called experiment? Do you know of any going down there to do this again? I'm not aware of them. Perhaps you're aware of them. I would just dive right into it.
You would, Tron, but then he would interrupt you and say, wait. Do you know what the scientific method is? Because first you have to have a theory, and then you have to execute the theory. He would not let you finish a word, dude.
I don't know. I would just
Ira, do you know why he keeps interrupting? Oh, no, you don't know. Let me explain it to you, Ira. All right. The reason why Dr. Shiva keeps interrupting Flathead Dave is because it's very simple. He knows Dave's going to make claims. He knows he has no evidence to back up those claims. He's just going to keep doing his script over and over and over again. Shiva is a scientist. He wants to know how Dave came to that conclusion. What evidence does he have? What experiments has he done to reach that conclusion? Memes and YouTube videos do not count as fucking experiments. Simple. It's not hard. He wants Dave to slow down and stop, make a claim, and demonstrate how he came to that. We all know it's because it looks flat, bro. It feels stationary, bro. You can't go to Antarctica, bro. It's like fucking... It's so frustrating. And the other... So, all right, I'm going to pause this for a second. What is Dr. Shiva actually trying to accomplish? Let's talk about that real quick, shall we? So like I mentioned before, Dr. Shiva is an MIT grad. Regardless of what you believe about some of his other things regarding vaccinations and health and stuff like that, I digress. The thing of it is he understands the scientific method. He actually is a fan of Richard Feynman. And if you were paying attention when he said it didn't matter how good looking you were or things like that, that is direct from Richard Feynman. Like this.
Situation. Now I'm going to discuss how we would look for a new law. In general, we look for a new law by the following process. First, we guess it. Then we well, don't laugh, that's really true. Then we compute the consequences of the guess to see what, if this is right, if this law that we guessed is right, we see what it would imply, and then we compare those computation results to nature, or we say compare to experiment or experience, compare it directly with observation to see if it works. If it disagrees with experiment, it's wrong. In that simple statement is the key to science. It doesn't make a difference how beautiful your guess is, it doesn't make a difference how smart you are who made the guess, or what his name is. If it disagrees with experiment, it's wrong. That's all there is to it. It's therefore not unscientific to take a guess, although many people who are not in science think it is.
That's important.
It's therefore not unscientific to take a guess, although many people who are not in science think it is.
Because they'll come around and claim that a guess is unscientific, an observation is unscientific. But they don't have a way to tell you what is scientific or why it's not scientific, because they don't understand science. Pure and simple. So what is Shiva really trying to do? This is my DMs from Twitter or shitter or twata or whatever else you want to call it. Dear DC, that's my handle on Twitter. Astronomy Live was very supportive of your joining the science panel because he was unable to do it. Kindly send me your email. Here is the invitation. Attention, kindly read and confirm. Regarding applying the scientific method concerning the geometry of the Earth. Based on your interest expressed in communications and feedback from others, we are pleased to formally invite you to be on the science panel on application of the scientific method concerning geometry of the Earth. We will be holding an online Zoom meeting from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. Eastern Time on November 8th, 2025. The basic requirements for those agreeing to be on this panel are knowledge of basic mathematics. Well, now we know why Dave bounced out. Physics. Whoops. Trigonometry. Decorum and interactions. I might have a problem with this. Use of Zoom. The fact they have to list use of Zoom is a problem. And knowledge and experience in applying the scientific method. The panel will proceed as follows. Introductions, define the problem, state the hypothesis, define mathematical models in support of your hypothesis. In other words, make a fucking prediction and back it up with evidence. Define the sources to gather data and validate the hypothesis. Define how the gathered data will be organized. Define the methodology of how the gathered data will be matched with the mathematical models defined in step 4. Memorial results of the steps 1 through 7 into a document that will be agreed on by all parties on the panel. Kindly confirm your attendance and provide the following: name, social media handle, photograph or headshot, city, state, country, email, phone, and a brief one-page bio on your educational and vocational background, which I did. Now, this panel is supposed to be 5 flat earthers, 5 normal, sane people. And when Dr. Shiva first started this, he was under the assumption, not being exposed to flat earth, that Mr. Potato Head was the mouthpiece, one of the front runners, right? And to a fair extent, he is to one tribe. It wasn't until he got into this and started looking into it, he saw all these different tribes and factions. You have the rising earthers, and within the rising earthers, you have the constant acceleration or constant speed, none of which work, but whatever. You have the infinite plane. You have the ice wall. You have, it's not globe, or it's, I don't know what shape it is, but it's not a globe. You have all these different factions. It measures flat. So just having Dave and 3 or 4 of his fucking cronies on a panel doesn't solve the problem. And Shiva knew this. So this is my speculation. Shiva, seeing this, was like, I have to go to all these other people as well, these other factions, to get representatives all the way across the board. Because he's framing this as an end-all, be-all, let's do an experiment. Now, here's the thing about the experiment. All historical experiments up to date are thrown out. Done. Gone. No more. Can't reference them. Can't do them. Well, you can redo them, but all completed science up until this point is thrown out the window. Why? Because you can lie about the conditions. Fine. Let's throw them all out. People on the same normal side are like, fine, throw them all out. Great. Let's start there. You start with a clean sheet. You collaborate as a group to identify a hypothesis and the methodology and compute the consequences and how to memorialize it and how to validate it. Now, do I honestly think we're going to have a quorum by doing that? No. You can't even get flat earthers to agree. You're not going to get them to agree on an experiment. But here's the other thing. The reason why Shiva wants to throw everything out is to force them to do this. But here's the problem. Define mathematical models in support of the hypothesis. In other words, how to make predictions. What model does flat Earth have? What math does flat Earth have? Name one piece of math that they have or claim they have that isn't based on globe skepticism. Name one piece of math that's been done by anybody, whether we're talking about Battle of the Beams, Celestial Theodolite, any of the other globe killers like microwave transmissions, the long-range photography and IR, laser tests over a lake, all these other things. All those tests, name one of them that had a measurement. Name one of them that had a methodology that anyone could follow and verify for themselves. You can't. Because they don't have any. And they don't have any because they don't know how to fucking do the science method or scientific method, no matter how many times they preach and prod and say they do. Because they have no fucking clue. Don't know how else to say it. You'll listen to QE or somebody else on Discord say, what about independent variable? You can't test gravity because you can't manipulate the gravity itself. Well, you're right. But I can take a density tower that you say is density because it replaces gravity, and I can take it up on the vomit comet or show a video of someone else taking on the vomit comet. And what happens as soon as they hit that parabolic arc and start going down in free fall, it mixes immediately. There goes your density. So I technically didn't manipulate gravity as a whole, but I did manipulate the effects of gravity. Hey, guess what? There's your variable. Fuck off. So here's the problem. Dave heard this and ran away. But he didn't run away right off the bat. He went running to the Ether cosplayers. It was a little faction under Space Audits on YouTube and on X. Now, the Ether cosplayers and I have already had a discussion about Battle of the Beams. We traded videos. The Ether cosplayers are the same individuals who also measure a hypotenuse in degrees. So Yeah. So he went to the Ether cosplayers and asked them, what should we do? So Man of Stone decided he was going to come up with an experiment. And Dave goes into this in one of his other videos, like tinfoil sombrero or whatever, stuff like that. And he says that I had an idea, Man of Stone had an idea, Man of Stone's was better, so we're taking that idea and going to Shiva. That is totally against everything that the panel was for. It was for collaboration. It was you sit in a room and you hash this out. We're hashing this out over the span of 4.5 fucking hours. You can come with certain experiments you have in mind, but it still has to be voted on. You still have to be able to sell it. You still have to be able to explain what the methodology is. Everyone has to have a chance to tear it apart. And you can't tear it apart with just saying blah, 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 word salad. No. You have to tear it apart with some sort of, you have a hole in your methodology. Your hypothesis is not concise enough. You don't have a way to collect the data and verify it. It's not exclusive. Take your pick. This right here is what the experiment is based off of. This right here is what they're trying to accomplish. So in regards to TFE, and they said, oh, well, there's the one that none of us agreed to, but you guys picked 2 flat earthers who would agree. That's because multiple accounts, multiple people on the flat earth side said the same thing over and over again. 24-hour sun does not work on a flat earth. We all knew that. You hear them in this video saying, was it done again? It needs to be repeatable. It's done every fucking year. Just because you guys aren't invited, you guys don't go down there and do it, doesn't mean it doesn't happen. Main character syndrome 101. Prime examples. I don't know what to tell you. So this is yeah, Patch, it's a little bit, some of his history, there are questions surrounding and disputes around it and everything else, but I'm choosing to separate myself from this in the fact that somebody who's this involved, who has his experience, is understanding the scientific method, because I have right here the scientific method that he wants to go over. Now, here's the other part of it. Let me show one thing. So emails back and forth about coordination, stuff like that. I sent my bio. If you guys want, I'll even put my bio up. You tell me if you want me to put my bio up. Put a 1 in the chat if you want to see my bio. If not, I don't give a shit. It's fine if you don't. I'm not going to put up my my name and where I live and everything else and phone number, though. And I made sure that Shiva's assistant made sure not to have that information. So let's bring this over to here. Thank you for taking time to volunteer. Blah, 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 blah. We have a very robust and diverse group of dedicated individuals who have acknowledged their commitment to applying the scientific method. Watch this video so you're fully aware of the process involved. So, kindly make sure all of you have submitted your bios and info if I requested. See below for the invitation, as we are creating a social media announcement. On November 8th, we will follow this process to mutually collaborate, articulate a hypothesis for each team into a proposed mathematical model for each hypothesis, e.g. flat, spherical, under the same conditions. Agree upon a common source of data collection, define the analysis methodology to compare reality with the model, and to calculate error, draw conclusions. Now, this thing that this link that goes to a video on Dr. Shiva where he held a town hall. And the town hall was, he was discussing the scientific method. Hearing Shiva talk to Dave and hearing Shiva 6 months later or something do this video, night and day. His patience is so thin because he got introduced to Santos Biaggi, calling for Jeranism to die. He learned about other factions and their cultish behavior. He learned how Jeranism got treated for telling the truth. He learned all the things we learned previously that he had no idea was going on. He's a little offended at this point, I think. Yeah, rule 1, don't dox yourself. Flat mathematical model. Yeah, there is none. That's funny, I know. So, my question. Okay, you want to see the bio, but we'll redact some stuff. That's fine. I can do that. Let me find it here for a second. Let's do this. Let's go back to this for a second. And let's transition here. And let me pull up my bio. And I did something stupid by closing my window. Such is great. Bear with me for 1 second, please. All right, let's move this over here. All right. Now I'm going to show you guys my I'm going to show you my my bio, and what this is you're going to notice there's no school listed. There's no vocational school. There's no anything. But what I'm leveraging is my experience. And I'm leveraging my engineering experience. So let's go over what it is, shall we? Yes, caller, I would end up being a co-author on that. Yes, here's the thing. When we take all the information and get it published, all the participants would be co-authors. He had to talk to Santos. What was his crime? Maybe Santos offered him for him to try some fermented pea. I don't know. Anyway, here's my bio. Hopefully you guys can read this. My professional summary, basically I kind of wrote it a little bit like a stupid ass like resume of sorts. 27 plus years in telecommunications and a foundation in signals intelligence from the U.S. Navy. I specialize in designing, scaling, and maintaining reliable networks while cutting through complexity to deliver clarity and performance. My military foundation, which is based on cryptologic technician communications, U.S. Navy, served aboard the USS Kittihawk, engineered to maintain critical radio and satellite communication networks in support of C4I operations, including combat deployments, developed precision, discipline, and a SIGINT mindset grounded in detail and pattern recognition. My telecom and ISP leadership led architecture and operations for an international internet service provider and telecommunications equipment manufacturers, directed fiber network architecture, design, capacity planning, and mission-critical troubleshooting, designed scalable systems, tested and integrated new technology while ensuring optimized network performance. My technical expertise is network infrastructure design and operations, signals analysis and systems troubleshooting, system testing of telecom hardware, software for developing technologies, capacity planning and performance optimization. I'm a veteran. I have a veteran discipline with cryptologic and signals analysis expertise, proven ability to resolve complex outages under pressure, skilled at scaling infrastructure through technological transitions, strong communicator, translating technical depth into clear solutions. And then I gave him my YouTube channel. So the key to this is that I've been doing this for 27 years. I've done presentations on practical, like I deployed and then gave presentations to the Ministry of Information from the People's Republic of China in Boston when they were there trying to understand point to multipoint RF technologies in relation to telecommunications. We could deliver T1s and T3s at the time through space, from the tallest building in Boston to all the other buildings that had line of sight. I built that. I integrated it into our network. I did it solo in my market by myself. I've done lots of things, and I've done a lot of nothing at the same time. But here's the thing. I've applied it. I've gone on deployments to combat zones and supported an aerial and shipboard network and made it work. Outages are not allowed in the Arabian Gulf. Does not happen. This includes satellite networks that allowed us to talk to continental U.S. from the other side of the world. It included working with our allies like the Japanese, the Koreans, and the Australians and Kiwis, and the English. And I say the English because at the time, Hong Kong was still under English rule. I've applied this. Am I bragging? No, I haven't done shit compared to most people. But I've applied it. When have any of these clusterfucks applied anything, any single one of their theories or ideas, have they applied it to anything to make it work? To see if it worked, to verify if it worked? They haven't. But yet they can sit here and laugh and joke around and fake, this personal credulity and outrage about they're making us do science. Yeah, we're making you do science because you haven't done science in 200 years. No flat earther has. So pony up. Now, the Four Stooges here, here's your chance. Get together in your little echo chamber and come up with an experiment that you think might work. And here's what I'm going to do. Okay, I'm leaving you an offer. I am a participant. I don't know who the other participants are. Don't care. Why should I? Doesn't matter. Science is going to do the work. Youth, 1, 2, 3, 5 chuckleheads, since I can't count tonight. These 5 chuckle fucks here, here's your opportunity. Design 3 experiments. Okay? Give me a hypothesis. Give me your prediction and your mathematical model. Give me how the methodology is and everything else. Send it to me. My email is in my channel about. In fact, here, I'll give it to you. It's unfornicated@gmail.com. Not fucking hard. You can send it to some other debunker too. They'll get it to me. But send me an email at unfornicated@gmail.com. Outline your 1, 2, 3, however many experiments you guys have. But it has to follow this. And I will bring it to the call that will be live streamed, because I think Shiva's going to live stream it. And if I'm allowed to, I will be live streaming it. So you can see that I bring up your hypothesis, bring up your experiments. What's it going to cost you? An hour or 2 of your time? You guys know the scientific method. You know all the arguments. You know all the measurements better than we do. Right? This should take you no time whatsoever. Give me 3 different experiments you would like them to see. I will bring them to the call and I will pose them. But don't get butthurt if we start poking holes in your methodology or your data or anything else like that, because you don't understand what the fuck this says. It's not hard. Read it. Take a screenshot. Not difficult. Define the problem. State a hypothesis. But be careful with the hypothesis. You have to be definitely careful of the hypothesis, because
be temporarily right, but it can never be proved right, because tomorrow's experiment may succeed in proving what you thought was right wrong. So we never are right. We can only be sure we're wrong. However, it's rather remarkable that we can last so long. I mean, have some idea which will last so long. I must also point out to you that you cannot prove a vague theory wrong. If the guess that you make is poorly expressed and rather vague, and the method that you use for figuring out the consequences is rather a little vague. You're not sure. I mean, you say, I think everything's because it's all due to Mughals, and Mughals do this and that, more or less, so I can sort of explain how this works. Then you see that that theory is good because it can't be proved wrong.
So in other words, make sure you have your shit sewn up. Because if it's vague, your methodology is vague, it's not exclusive one or the other, it's too ambiguous, it won't fly. But you already understand all the measurements. You already stand all, you know the science better than all scientists and physicists and chemists and astrologers combined, right? Should be easy. Should have it in no time. Look, you can even use an AI to help you. I won't tell anybody. Get it to me, and I will put it on the call, and everyone will see live stream. I'll even give you fucking credit. I'll tell you, this is from Vika Drizig, and he says we should do nothing because science he doesn't understand. And I'll read it. I'll outline it for him so everyone can hear it, and they can say, you know what, that's good. Let's think about this. But if your own people, and by people I mean flat earthers, because I'm not talking about specific tribes, are poking holes in it, you better expect us to poke holes in it from the sane side. The normal people, the sane people, those of us who have experience about a scientific method, who knows how to apply it, who knows how to engineer an actual experiment, we're going to poke holes in it too. But don't worry, we won't be the only ones. Your own people will too. So make sure that shit's buttoned up tight. Don't be slacking. Come out right. Get it over to me in an email, and I promise you, I will read it on the call. Is that fair? Here's your chance. Come on, guys. Be the heroes that Flat Earth needs. Put on that fucking cape, pull up them tights, and strike the superhero pose, and send me that experiment. I need a refill. So I'm going to let this dirt play for a minute while I go get a refill.
Just talk right at him. I would say, screw it. I'm going to get my words in, and if they cancel me, I'm out of here. That's what I would have done.
Right. I know. and I think Dave in this video is just being polite to him because he's not trying
That's
to.
what it seems like. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's cool. Like that, I get that. But like, you know what I'm saying though, is like some of these people who have the academic hubris, they can't stand the idea of having their entire life's investment into this academic thing be undermined.
Well, they think they're smarter than everybody.
Well, and what's really awesome to me is like I spent my whole life going into hardcore music and punk rock and grew up with rednecks. All of those people have something about them that doesn't go with this grain of this science trash. But what was cool was finding out, oh my God, all the rednecks who are saying the earth is flat, they're all correct. And they're just trying to tell people. That's really, and years ago, that was really insane for me. Like that was a wash, and I'm walking around in a city where everybody thinks science is the top of reality. And I'm like, whoa, how do we tell this to people? You know? And so it's like guys like Vika and myself, like, yeah, we're just trying to provide exposition. I try to make art about it. I'm never going to stop. But you know what I'm saying is like, what I'm trying to say, Tron, is like a guy like this is equipped by academia with techniques to make sure you can't finish your sentence. And that's like,
hey, Joe Black, didn't they make I think Cadbury has a candy bar called Fruit and Nut, right?
Like that's a lot of these academics, man. Like they can't let you speak, man. And even if you do have
Elder Baron, you're not wrong. He absolutely grew up with a lack of education, and he has an absolute mistrust and he hates academia. He hates science. He hates being told he's an idiot. Because the entire world, let me phrase that. The entire globe has been telling him that for years. Then he found flat Earth. And he said something stupid and crazy based on vibes. People bought it, and he's like, I found me a home. I'm welcome here. You love me. You truly love me. And that's why he'll never leave.
The correct thing to say, they will destroy the value of that which you're saying because they're protecting their own investment in the thing that they are a part of, which is corrupt academia.
Yo, and you want to know something? If you look at it,
Vlad?
again, a Harvard engineer, Harvard scientist, Harvard academic, right? Who else that we know of today that you're hearing a lot of his name, you're hearing a lot of his quote-unquote work?
Wait, because he's going to fuck it up. He's talking about Avi Loeb. I can guarantee you anybody who's watching this thinks Avi Loeb is a fucking nutcase. He says some weird shit and is wrong quite often. Especially about comets. But he applies the scientific method. He doesn't scream like, I'm being suppressed. And people interview him because he gets clicks. It's probably why he does it. I don't know if he believes it or not. I can't fathom. But there's not a lot of us who take him fucking seriously. Just because the press does and gives him, like, airtime doesn't mean shit.
Another Harvard, physicist, right? Avi Loeb, the guy that's running the freaking 3-Eye Atlas. He's the one that found the 3-Eye Atlas, and all.
Not the guy who founded 3-Eye Atlas, not the guy running the 3-Eye Atlas experiments or anything like that. Just some physicist who's on the media. Because here's the thing, Vlad. NASA's not the only one. Harvard's not the only one. There are countless telescopes doing this. Countless teams working on trying to figure out its trajectory, where it came from, where it's going, how fast it is, how big it is, how much, because it's hard to tell. It's kind of running kind of fast. Faster than we expected. These are all things that we can learn from, Vlad. They're not wrong because we didn't know previously. We haven't experienced it yet. Now we have. Now we can start doing science. Because science is not afraid to be wrong.
All the news that's associated with this bullshit freaking, Operation freaking Blue Beam nonsense, this 3-Eye Atlas thing, all of that, it has his name attached to it.
Yeah.
All of that does. And every time you hear Avi Loeb, you hear Harvard scientist. And so people take a step back and they listen. And I'm like, you don't have to listen to him, man. He's like any other professor, man.
All right, hold up. I'm going to interrupt again. Everyone in chat, if you'd heard the name Avi Loeb, and Jim Daniels, I did read your comment about owning a 61 Mercury comet. So if you're in chat and you hear the name Avi Loeb, Harvard scientist, and you think that you automatically agree with everything he says, put a 1 in chat. If you think you hear the name Avi Loeb and from your own research think the guy is, let's say, left field to left out, put 2 in chat. And on the off chance you think that Avi is actually speaking from some sort of a sense of expertise and he's on the spot, put a 3 in chat, because I want to be fair. Two. I'm guessing Illusion put 7 because they're missing the 2. 2. He's a kook. A lot of 2s. Thank you, Sarah. I see spin 69. If you subtract that, that's a 3. So I guess that means you're negative 3. 2. Okay. So we're on the same page. So Vlad is monumentally wrong here. I mean, let's go back for a minute and let's say that how wrong he is. Dr. Shiva's from Harvard. He's a Harvard alumni. Wrong and wrong. Avi Loeb, wrong. Avi Loeb. Everyone hears, you know, he gets in the media. He's running 3i Atlas. Wrong. He's all over the media. Well, that part was right. Everyone assumes he knows what he's talking about and agrees with him. Wrong. Vlad, you're striking out, bud. It's the World Series. You have your chance here, and you are just... You know what? Here's the problem, Vlad. You are whiffing on a T-ball right now. So much for to do your own research, crowd. These people haven't looked into shit.
And the difference is that he's got, you know, the backing of so many people and the media on top of that to push his BS narrative. I challenge you to look at the latest from the 3i Atlas, and they talk about 333 right now, 333, I think it's billion pounds of dust being removed or some nonsense like that. Dust or water being pushed.
Wow.
A second. I'm like, what?
It's they Jesus fucking Christ, Vlad. Based on measurements, they speculate, because they don't know what it's entirely made of yet, they speculate that 3i Atlas is 33 billion, what is it, tons? It's big. God, you can't have 33 in that. Nope. It's a mark of the devil, sign of the beast, 33s. It's the Freemasons telling us what to believe. Not losing material, not spouting off 33 billion tons of water. If there ever was a headline reader who can't even read the headlines, it's Vlad. If you had the privilege, and I say this in the utmost honesty, if you had the privilege of listening to Vlad read an 1800 article from an Alabama newspaper about giants, insert the tagline there for those who know, then you know what I'm talking about.
I'm like, what? What is it? It's 330. It's 33 something. Again,
It's always-
they're throwing it
it's
right in our
always
faces
there.
that, yeah.
I knew you wouldn't
again,
disappoint.
man, it just basically adding on to what you're saying, man. They use these people with these big name institutions to make people pause, shut up, and listen. Because, you know, even some of us might be like, wow, this dude is a Harvard scientist saying this. Because let's
And when we hear Avi Loeb's name, we don't shut up and listen. We automatically start laughing. Then we listen to what he has to say so we can laugh more.
think about it on the flip side. What if Dr. Shiva said, guys, guess what? I went outside, I did the experiment. I'm a Harvard scientist, and I did the experiment, and the world is flat. I mean, of course, we'd be like, well, of course it's flat. We don't need you to be a freaking Harvard scientist to say it. But a lot more people are going to be willing to listen. You understand? And even some flat earthers might be like, hey, look at that. One of your special people from special schools like Harvard even said that it's flat. So
I don't think any of these people ever applied to a school. Ever. No higher learning. In fact, I would go on record to say, and they can absolutely prove me wrong, that if we look at their high school transcripts, they took the bare minimum in math and science. I'm talking bare minimum. None of them took physics. None of them took pre-calc. I doubt any of them took trig. Some may have taken some geometry, but probably failed. I would love to line up transcripts. Because I loved science. I loved math. I did 4 years of math and I did 4 years of science. Then I went and joined the military in cryptology. Didn't go to college. I knew my B- average wasn't going to cut it. I was going to go to state school in California. Cal State San Diego, here I come. Me and 80,000 other students crashing courses to try to get an education. That wasn't going to fly. It's not, none of them have ever applied for any school.
now what? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that might be useful, but like also I'm just being cautionary. I'm like a chess player about it, dude, and I'm thinking like, well, yeah, but what happens when he starts speaking authoritatively from this position and then ignoring people like us who've been researching this, and we can subconsciously respond to it no problem. It's just like what I'm pointing out also is like, yeah, what if the experiment's corrupt, and what if when they do the experiment they completely just fake the experiment again, and then
Right. So yeah. Tim, not wrong. Pigeon chess at its best here. They're already disavowing the experiment. Why? Why are they going so hard in the idea of discrediting Shiva, discrediting the experiment, discrediting anything that's going to come out of this when nothing has been done yet? I don't even know who's on the panel. I know I am. You guys all read my bio. Yeah. That's what I do. Great. We haven't done anything yet. Why are you bitching? Why are you moaning? Why are you complaining it's going to be faked? Why are you complaining it's going to be this? Because you know you can't do fucking science. You don't know what the scientific method is, and you have no understanding what's going to do it. Or worse, you know that we can do science, and you know what science is going to prove. There's your dichotomy. It might be a false dichotomy, but I don't think so.
use it to falsely prove the globe. Like we don't know, but
I agree. I agree 1,000%. You're right, because they could very well do that nonsense.
It's a non-zero chance.
That's the scary part. Yeah. And you want to know something? This is where these lies come in, where all they have to do is just drop one lie. One lie. Somebody as big as him, he has such a big platform and such a huge following that if they say Harvard professor.
Okay. Dr. Shiva has 325,000 followers on X. Okay. Huge following. As someone just put in here, Google debunkers, Aldebaran is another mini Minutemen fan like I am. He's got over 1 million. Why didn't we call him? Why didn't we call anybody else who may have more? Here's the thing. Shiva's entertaining this. Why is Dr. Shiva entertaining this? Why not? He has a really good idea how it's going to end. We all do. Except for these 5 chuckle fucks. Yeah, they're basically kissing Weiss's ass from the jump. And you're absolutely right. Nobody else can be bothered because no one takes you fucks seriously because you can't science. If you could do one science experiment, just one, okay, put out and publish the methodology and everything else. Submit it for peer review. Here's the thing. It doesn't have to be peer reviewed to be published. You take your experiment, you publish it. You can publish it any fucking where. Publish it on the internet. Send us the link. And other people will review it by trying to repeat it. Put it somewhere. Let us look at it. That's all we're asking. Not hard.
Professor goes out, does a field test with flat earthers, concludes that the earth is flat or that the earth is round, that the earth is a ball, right? Then it's like, what the hell? All people need to do is see that first lie coming from that first headline, and that's the majority of everybody. Nobody's going to do their due diligence and not listen to them and do their own experiment. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And basically, to add on to what you say, he could very well say, "Oh, well, I have a special device that measures curvature for over 20 miles at a time." And then we could be like, "Damn, how much is that?" He'd be like, "Oh, it's a $3.3 million device." I'd be like, "Damn, I don't have that much." I don't have that much money for anything like that, man. He's like, yeah, only Harvard, Yale, and Princeton has this device. Sorry, you can't use it unless you're one of us.
So proof again that Vlad's not listening. Vlad has no idea what this is. We're not talking about using a $3.33 million device. We're not talking about doing anything else. We're talking about doing an experiment that is easily accessible for anybody. And if it does require any sort of funding, it's going to be on us to raise the funding. Shiva's probably not going to pay for it out of pocket. So the idea is, what can we do that isn't that? We're not going to hide behind a price tag. We're not going to hide behind cutting edge technology that only certain people have access to. That's not science. Well, it is science, but it's not science in this case, where we're trying to compare two different hypotheses. One based on vibes, mysticism, and some ancient cosmology, and one based on the scientific method and understanding and actual experience testing and applying these things. But no, they want to dismiss it. They want to sit there and say, we're going to hide it. We're going to do everything else. They're dismissing this off the get-go. Why? Ask yourself that. Why are they dismissing it? I only come up with two reasons. I'm open to more. My two reasons are this. A, fear. They don't understand it. They don't want to be shown up. They don't want to be anything else. Any one of them could have put their name in the hat. Any one of them can send me, as a known participant, something, and I will read it. Or two, they know what's going to happen. And therefore, they have to discredit it out the get-go because they didn't get in front of TFE and they all look like assholes afterwards. And they're afraid it's going to look like assholes again. So they dropped their numbers and they're afraid it's going to drop more. That's my two choices. And random, you're absolutely right. One popular example of recent years of claims not simply being accepted but tested was the claimed room temperature superconductor LK99. Utter lack of reproducibility made it fail. I'll give you another one. And it's from the Paradigm Shift video. CERN claimed that they found a way for faster than light neutrinos. When they tried to test it again, it didn't work. Why? Because they found a loose fiber optic cable. Corrupted the results. There you go. What about cold fusion from the 60s and 70s? Remember that? Couldn't be reproduced.
And that's what happens. They say, well, only my eye can look at my tool that I have and you don't. And it's like it's the most punch down economics ever. And it's like, okay, well, we'll just keep making our weird art and maybe people will figure it out if they bother to ask us. But till then, we're not going to these schools. They're all a scam.
Oh, yeah, that is the...
There is IRA in a nutshell. We're not going to these schools because they're all scams. You know, the jokes write themselves. I don't need to say anything. I could let this play and you guys will spend here laughing and I could just walk off screen. Because it is so fucking insane. So we talked about Shiva's experiment and what's required of it. Collaboration. Letting go of historical events and results. Starting with a clean sheet. Doing things new, making it accessible for anybody and everybody to admit, and then going out and having the experiment done multiple times to prove its repeatability, then collecting all of that information and sitting down and going over it again. This meeting on November 8th is the first of a few It's not we're going to create an assignment or create an experiment and say, we're done. We proved the Earth. No. You still got to go out and do it. You still have to go out and do it. You still have to apply it. You still have to collect the data. And then you compare the data to those hypotheses and to those mathematical models and to those predictions, and what wins. I myself have already written out 3 experiments. Some of them, surprisingly, is along the lines of what is it? Lights in the sky because of geometry. Some of it is based off of telecommunications. You know, a span of 120 kilometers of fiber as straight as possible would be longer over over a surface than a cord if it was flat. Alternately, we can also talk about latency measurements between Australia and Los Angeles, because that has an SLA, which is a service level agreement that must be adhered to, or people can sue the company for not meeting it. Guess what? That would be 25% longer if the Earth was flat. I have my 3 I'm showing up with. We can do reciprocal azimuths. We can do any number of things. We can literally look at a sunset and a sunrise. We can predict where the sunset and sunrise come up. We can predict the moon. We can predict eclipses past the latest almanac, because Astronomy Live has done that. Because he has the math equations. Because we have the math and we have the science. That's why.
Reason also, right, Vlad, this is the title of the show, is this experiment that he's very keen on doing, and he's there, he's got his people, and he's keen on doing it, right? And the way you are saying too, right, coming from a professor from Harvard, so people have to pay attention. So, like, have all the possibilities of being a hit piece, right?
So, quick question. So I'm just getting caught up here. Hold on a second. Certain tools need training to use. Fair, true. And some tools will even flat Earth. Also true. The opera experiment, yeah, exactly. Reading his wiki page, yeah, like I said, I'm separating that from this. Getting a higher education, anything but indoctrination, especially in science. True. How is your phone working, you dumb flirt? I can tell them that, but they can't. To them, 5G is a weapon for depopulation. They deny the utility of instrumentation. Also true. To be fair, it is not unscientific to propose mechanisms. The act of not accepting contradicting experimental explanations like a loose cable would be the actual issue. Yes. Because if you fix the cable and run it again, you can't repeat it. Guess what you have? You have bullshit. Plenty of hot takes on neutrinos. That would be awesome. True. Very true. Many years ago, I used time domain reflectometers to find cable and wire faults. Yep, I use an OTDR. Each one of their phones is simultaneously measuring gravity, etc., with the accelerometer while they say the Earth is flat and not moving. True. No, you didn't, because Satan. Certain tools should be made to get mental health. Not lying. Proby also not lying. Cope, I didn't say it was a valid reason or a sensible one. I just said that's their reason. All right, let's see what other stupid shit they have. For those who don't know, in 40 minutes, we'll be kicking over to Max over at Chirpe Mate Talks. And we're going to continue the triple header tonight. I might come back to this on Sunday, but I have something else for you guys on Sunday. Something that came up that I heard in the whispers of the Dave McKeegan Flat Earth Reconnaissance thing that I want to share. And it might be common knowledge to all of you, but I found it for the first time, and I'm somewhat surprised. But we'll get to that.
Yeah, as crazy as it sounds, I think it's a good thing with these, professional credentials, because, we've been debating all these other non-credentials, and it just gets in a yelling match. Nobody learns. Nobody, it's just
I had another
argument.
I had another scientist that I was.
No, you didn't. Who is Dave McKeegan? I don't know. Some former flat earther who went to the North Pole or something.
A scientist now. I was a guest on somebody else's TikTok live, and it was this younger guy that was a scientist.
Brain Hood. Yeah, he's like Robin Hood. He steals brain cells so he can use them from other people. So he steals brain cells from scientists, and he uses them for himself because, yeah, they've been debating. Yeah, true. So you guys say you're going to get timed out. You keep up with that shit.
And he was about as smug as he could be, but he had his camera turned on. So I chimed in and I was talking to him, and I was going at him with the same stuff about Earth motion, same exact stuff. He tried to deflect. I wouldn't let him do it. He dropped. He ended up dropping.
I'll take things that didn't happen for 1,000 bucks.
It's a little bit different, but
yeah. My only point is that they kind of have to stay more professional, because they have to represent, when all these other people that we've been debating for 5-10 years, they don't give two shits, and it just ends up and no one learns anything, man. And
I agree.
Now, you know what's dangerous about the whole thing, and not dangerous to us, because we've gotten to a point to where we're like, whatever, we're just going to say it like it is. But what's dangerous to those guys in their craft
is booted, not dropped.
Is once they're checkmated, everybody witnesses it. Everybody sees it, and then the internet never forgets.
That's right, Vlad. The internet doesn't forget. You remember how you said you served on the USS Nevada out of Kings Bay, Georgia, in the 2007, I think you said. Do you remember that? You said it on Mikey's stream in front of Mikey and Mikey Smith and Flat Earth Reconnaissance, because he was on his way to Vegas, and you made a joke about the USS Nevada, and you're like, yeah, I was on that boat, Kings Bay, Georgia. You couldn't remember the sail number on it because reasons. I haven't been on my ship, and it's been decommed, and I haven't been on it for 30 years. I still know the sail number of that one, CV63. I can tell you all the other sail numbers I was on too. Here's the thing. USS Nevada, Vlad, was in Puget Sound. It left in 93 or 94 from Kings Bay, Georgia, and is now up in Everett, Washington. In fact, it got into an accident in 2006 and had to go in for repairs in Puget Sound. Internet remembers. And you've never checkmated anybody. If you've checkmated anybody, it's somebody who jumps in your live, who has not been around this particular realm of the internet, this dark corner of stupidity, and is spouting the same high school stuff that we all started before we got here, and we started learning that there is more to it. Tell me you've checkmated anybody with any sort of technical background or scientific background. Pull it up, to quote Ross.
You understand? So they're going to get to a point to where the more we do this with these guys, so kind of like you guys mentioned earlier, the people like Dr. Shiva have to cut Dave off, because Dave is going to provide so many evidences to them that they can't possibly ignore it. And if they do ignore it, well, we witness them ignoring it in real time on film. And then we can always go back to like we usually do. We go back to the game film. And then we're like, there he goes ignoring it again. There he goes ignoring it again. And the more people that start to do this, that start to witness these guys doing it, they lose credibility. Again, another art form, like these physicists and these scientists, that start to lose credibility again. And then that's the last thing they want. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's more damaging than someone's credibility who doesn't have the credentials. That's kind of my point as well. You know, you hold a physician's feet to the fire, it's going to do a lot more damage, you know, a lot more exposure, because people appeal to the credential, whether it be good or bad. You know, if they get put in their place and they get, but I don't know about Dave. You know, I think that he does say a lot of good stuff, and during his debate with Shiva, you know, he's going to do everything we expect him to do. But at the end of the day, trust nobody, guys, because you know, they'll steer you down the wrong road intentionally. I really have a strong feeling on that. You know,
I have a really strong feeling on that. Don't trust anybody unless they believe the same thing as you. Perfect sense, right?
Well, you just can't trust anybody, even if they say what you want to hear. You know,
That's why you have to use the zetetic method. Go out and prove it for yourself.
Exactly.
Go look at it for yourself. That's what you got to do.
At the end of the day, you're damn right. You want to know something?
At the end of the day, damn right. Tell us, Vlad, what have you done? What have you done? Tell us what you have done. Watching YouTube doesn't count. What have you done? You're a parrot. You're a baby flurf who's trying to make waves in a floundering community because you've never provided a single piece of evidence. You've only said it's flat, it measures flat, end of debate. We don't need to talk about it anymore because you don't know the talking points. You don't know anything. You use the 8 inches over the mile squared like Shiva does, or I'm sorry, Flat Earth tries to explain to Shiva, which in its own right is fucking hilarious. Because Shiva's asking for the equation for the parabola, and Dave is like, no, you use a right triangle in the Pythagorean theorem. And Shiva's like, what? Because he's never heard of this shit. Because no one in their right mind measures drop over run like a flurf does. And that part's a little later, but Vlad hasn't done shit.
We've been getting calls for debates, and they've been trolling us and cussing us out, calling us everything but a child of God. And I'm like, listen, there's no debate. You don't want to listen to us, that's fine. Go do it for yourself. And you want to know something? In all honesty, that's where the honesty is. You do it for yourself. And based on what you find, that's what it is. You don't have to listen to me. You don't have to listen to anybody. Go out, and you have to be able to do this on your own. Really, that's what it boils down to. Like, if you don't believe me, if you don't think this room is a 10-foot by 10-foot room, here's a tape measure it yourself. There it is. You have the tools. You can measure it yourself. It doesn't cost you nothing. It doesn't take no time. You can do all this on your own. You don't need me to do it. All right? I showed you how to run a tape measure. Now measure it on your own. If you come with totally different results, something's wrong. Right? If it is a certified 10 by 10 room and everybody's measured it, but you haven't measured it, there's something wrong, right? So,
well, yeah, they'll try to measure the sky to tell you what the floor's dimensions are. You know, that old routine.
Yep. And then that's true. They will run to, well, you know it's curving because, you know, we get seasons, or the sky's doing this, or the sun is a ball. I mean, we've cornered them we've cornered them with that. And so it boils down to, that's cool. We're not concerned with the sky. Here are these tools. It's really easy. You can do it for yourself. So.
Hey, I hate to do it, but I'm going to have to drop, Vika. I just got a call, so I got to run. Thanks for bringing me up, so I can't stay that long today, but I'm with you guys.
Oh, yeah,
Tron. Thanks for coming.
Alrighty. See you later.
Peace, Tron.
Bye.
Bye-bye, guys.
Straight denialism is right.
Alrighty, so let's hear
You're right.
that.
A 10 by
Let's
10
hear
room,
that.
you measure the floor, you can measure the ceiling. Guess what?
How you're supposed to observe data
size.
is an experiment. Okay, you're saying I'm going to do this, this, and this. I'm going to collect this data, and then I'm going to do this, this, and this to mine that data to model it. Right. So I haven't even looked into the math of this or any of this. You know, I have 4 engineering degrees, right? And this is what we do. Engineers can't lie like scientists can. Engineers have to build stuff that works.
Hey, it's true. That's a true statement for
It
sure.
is a true statement.
Well, they've got a lot of surveyors. They've got a lot of bridge builders. Let's ask them.
Yeah, and like every
Here's the thing, though, Vlad. If you talk to the iron worker, if you talk to the surveyor, you know, the guy holding the stick, who are you actually going to ask? The people who actually have to account for curvature? Like the people who designed the Verrazano Straits Bridge in New York City? Or are you going to talk to the iron worker who laid the girders and was working on that? Two different views.
ontology turns out to be like, yeah, they could just lie about it. Like, okay, like how just find a giant bone and they just assume that they can carbon date it to 100 million years ago because, you know, and then that gives the dialectical thing. That's what this symbol is about. That's the Hegelian dialectic. It's 3 and 2, and that's not good. But like the one end of the dialectic is dinosaurs were real and they ruled the earth one time, and then an asteroid 66 million years ago wiped them out. And on the other end, it's God was putting them there to test us, right? And that's the creationist thing from the churches, which are also lying about the globe. And so when we're kids and we're growing up with both of these things and we're being faced at very young ages, like kindergarten, first grade, dinosaurs in every program, that is a result of ontology. And that's what the scientists are lying about, is because they're not dinosaurs.
When you say dielectric and oncology, like every time Ira starts talking, I start tuning out because he uses so many different words. I can't understand a word he's fucking saying. I know it's English, but that's it.
Dinosaurs never existed. And it's like they're dragon bones or they're giant human bones, but that goes on to the other ontology.
Okay. Thank you for you all hearing the same thing I heard. Yeah. Here's the thing. They think radiocarbon dating is the only way that you can date things. Not that there's other elements.
Ecologies, astrophysics, it goes into geology where they're lying about
Cygnus,
how
dragons,
the Grand
yes,
Canyon
you're
was
right, Steel
carved
City.
out of the freaking Colorado River, just carving it down, and they just say stuff. But yeah, engineers can't lie about it.
And now it goes one better. Because it's a sad world, because you make a point. It's a sad world to live in that the person can only believe things that they can do. Okay? Here's the thing. There are things they can do and they choose not to do them. That's worse. That to me is intellectual crimes against humanity. Having to listen to this shit purposely should count as cruel and unusual punishment. We subject ourselves to this on our own, but we're borderline masochists for the intellectuals. Because we look at this and we laugh. And why do we laugh? Because it's so fucking funny. But at the same time, I'm fucking embarrassed for these people.
What they're about to create, because they have to engage in something that has to build something with structural foundation, because people's lives depend on, let's say,
Random, you're absolutely right. Dating in archaeology is pretty much the same as distances in astronomy. You build ladders of intersecting methods to gauge the next one. Terrence Tao has an unbelievable video on that talks about the ladders that were built to measure distances for astronomy, and it's one of my favorite videos, because one of them is that he also shows a picture of various moon transits that shows the shadow of the Earth as a circle. How does that happen?
crossing a bridge across a
Yeah,
river.
I know it's a two-part series
Like,
because they don't get very far.
Can't lie about that.
For me, it's
Or
going to be a
flying an
four-part fucking
airplane
series.
using something for a standard like a gyro compass. People swear the gyro compass works off of a globe. I'm like, no, your standard is a flat and level horizon. Always.
Yes.
Gyros wouldn't know what to do on a ball or anything else like that. Are you crazy? So they make these things function with.
Hold up, Patches, because YouTube's all hosed. That's Marcus, right? Yeah, with the added bonus that for radioactive decays, we know the lifetimes. Yeah, go figure, huh? Like uranium decays into lead. Zircon crystals.
With nature, with what's out there.
Okay, thank you, Patch or Marcus. I thought it was after seeing a couple of your things, but I finally had to ask.
Like it's simple. It's like that's simple. But whatever.
Oh yeah, that's a two-part series. Yeah, part one he starts talking about the distance ladder a little bit, and then two he kind of expands upon it, and it is such an amazing video. And the fact that the guys at UCLA, and I have a cousin who is a mathematics professor at USC. Yeah, I kind of chastise him a little bit on that. It's fun.
I think that's why they
you have to be from California to understand
fallacy, because they want people to accept that they live in a video game or something, you know? Even in a video game, the realm you're in is based on a flat design, but like, yeah, it's just, this is one that is 5 senses. We're inside of it. It's a realm.
Well, they really have to muddy those waters and poison the wells, you know? So it's just, their credit. We always got to go back to credibility. That's what's most mind blowing. Is how could they be proven wrong?
I'd rather talk about the shape of the Earth than the lights in the sky that nobody knows what they are or how far they are.
No, but just to educate people, some guy agreed to do this experiment with this guy, right?
No, they did not. No one agreed to do an experiment. They agreed to go make an observation of the sky and see what it told us.
Right, but that's an experiment, Dave.
Well, it's not, because the lights in the sky do not dictate the shape of the floor. Like, look up at the lights in your ceiling and tell me if they tell you what shape your floor is. Here's an experiment. Let me show you an experiment.
Based on the shadows, we can tell.
Let's not talk, Dave. Let's not talk analogies, because analogies.
Watch Ira during this whole spat. He's just fucking losing himself.
And science don't work.
Right. So I got you. So let me show you an experiment right here. If some.
That's all I gotta say to Dr. Shiva here.
Yeah, he was desperate to shut that one down.
Dude, yeah, like he's really rude to Dave. Like, I was watching this like months ago, and I was like, dude, this is a spicy video, Vika. Like, this one's spicy.
Yo, what's even worse is that they didn't do the follow-up experiment. Wasn't they supposed to do a follow-up about this?
Yeah, Vlad, that's why I'm on it. Because Dave doesn't know how to follow fucking instructions. Because Shiva gave him specific instructions on what the next step should be. Dave didn't follow that. Because Dave wants nothing to do with this.
And also, like, what we found out about TFE is like horrifying. Like, it's like, look, I don't know exactly what they did, but I know what they didn't do. like
listen to that. I don't know what exactly they did, but I know what they didn't do. Ira's in the camp of, I don't know the shape of the Earth, but I know it's not a globe. These four geniuses are your clowns on parade tonight. I don't know how else to say it. You're watching all four of them come out on stage and faceplant like Charlie Chaplin. It is physical comedy at its best, and it's painful to watch as they faceplant from the mental gymnastics they have to do. This is, if mental gymnastics was an Olympic event, these are gold medal winning performances. Because mental gymnastics is literally the Olympic sport for conspiratards. In fact, there's a shirt like that on my merch store.
We know there's too many errors. It's insane, and we know they're just lying. And where do we begin? How many episodes have been made on this podcast about that? What more do we need to say?
Yes, absolutely.
They can't even
Mental
produce
masturbation with a
airline
humiliation kink.
They can't even produce
Go ahead,
airline
Aaron, go ahead.
tickets. Yeah, they can't even produce airplane tickets. So, like, they lost me with that.
Is there any time Vlad doesn't talk about fucking airplane tickets?
So,
You'd think that'd been the first thing they faked, you know?
Oh yeah,
The easiest part to fake, anyway.
yeah. Like I'm good at faking documents. So if anybody needs help with from an artist, like that's like
Ira, you might not want to say that on a stream. So you end up on an FBI and Secret Service watch list because of forgeries.
thing that you can do with artistry is create false plane tickets, I guess. Like,
but then you got to remember the community's so big. You'll have some flat earther be like, yeah, my dad works at Delta and he runs the registers over there, and so he took those tickets and then he ran them, and he's a big.
Vlad's point goes in the ether because he is driving.
Right, but even still, somebody would always find out their trick. So if they were to run those tickets and show us those tickets, somebody would have run those serial numbers.
Oh, yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Right.
They would have been caught like this.
Right.
Yeah, they wouldn't dare provide something like that. They would have been.
When Jaron was doing the magnifying glass on his ticket, it said December 10th, just like that, right? You know, people catch it. And they claimed to only have been there for, well, why did they leave on the 10th when they was there on the 15th? It took them 5 days to get there?
I don't know what ticket he's talking about, but I'm guessing that Jaron burned his tickets between LA and Punta Arenas is what I'm guessing. Yeah, Timu Santa here has got fucking tremendous insights. All right, guys, we're going to be starting a countdown here. We got 15 minutes before we go hit up with Max. And I think Max has some other derp we're going to go into, and we're going to watch this for a few more minutes. We'll give some final thoughts, and then we'll kick over to Max, and I'll probably do a little more rundown on this a little later. I really would love to get to this Pythagorean theorem part of it because it highlights their stupidity.
The way I look at it is that we just use the Pythagorean theorem, and it works out.
It's not the Pythagorean theorem. It's a parabola. If you're saying it's a curvature, right?
Yeah.
If this is 0, right? It's going to curve like this. So what?
Well, you're alrighty.
What is the equation? Y. I'm just asking what's the equation? Y equals minus something x squared. What is
Y
that?
equals what
Let me
x
show
squared?
you the easy way to do it. All right.
And why is Vlad laughing? Because he doesn't know what the equation for a parabola is. He doesn't understand graphing, doesn't understand geometry, doesn't understand basic fucking math outside of a cash register and giving change for a $5 bill. It's the truth. Prove me wrong, Vlad. Prove me wrong, I'll apologize. But right now, that's all you can do, from what I can tell.
Where is it? Okay. So.
Well, that's one of the easiest ways. It's just Y equals just simple algebra.
So we have a squared plus b squared equals c squared is the Pythagorean theorem. So if we put that on a globe, they tell us the radius of the Earth is this is the radius, and we went out.
Looks like he wants to laugh, but you see he have his finger on the mouth, right? It's like It's
so
like
they know what Shiva's
he
thinking
know all
because
this
they're
shit,
now body language
right?
experts.
But he's playing dumb.
Yep.
You got that right.
Yep. I give Dave all the props, man, for not losing his mind on him. It sounds like Dave even got quiet a little bit just so he didn't start raising his voice. And that was on purpose, just so he didn't start to yell at him. And I say kudos to you, because I ought to been cussed him out.
Yeah, Dave is polished, not his first rodeo, that's for sure.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Next distance, this would be the drop right here. So they tell us the radius is 3963, another made up number, right? But that's the official story. So this is not the scale, of course. So we got our radius. If we went 100 miles out, we can square the numbers and figure out what the drop would be, right? So the hypotenuse would be.
No, I gotta look. I gotta understand it simply. Let's just. You just said it's something x squared, and you said it's a parabola.
3963
squared
times 100 squared,
right?
Equals
and then
the hypotenuse of 15,715,000 feet.
But then you have to take the square root of that.
Correct.
To come to which point you're out in outer space then.
So we're up in the air, right? But if you subtract the radius from that, it comes out to 1.2615 miles, which is.
So he's explaining how they, in this case, these morons, use the Pythagorean theorem, which is the most advanced math they know, to figure out the curvature, rise over run, or drop over run. And he admits it's only good for 2,000 miles or whatever, which is wrong. He admits that it's completely stupid and, oh, no, it isn't. Sorry. So he's trying to explain to Shiva what this is. And Shiva, as a scientist who understands that there's an actual curvature calculator that uses, trigonomic functions like sine, cosine, stuff like that, to find out what it is based off of things like latitude and stuff like that. But no, they want to simplify it. And Shiva's never seen this before. And the four stooges here of chucklefuckery are going to start laughing and pointing out how he's being dumb and not catching on. He's too slow.
Which is the drop, 1.2, which is 6,660 feet. At 100 miles, there would be over a mile of drop if the Earth was curved.
Real quick, you see that we've lost Ira, and we got a flat geocentric stationary plane of stupidity. And he goes into this, and we're not going to have enough time to cover it tonight. He has the experiment to solve all experiments, to prove the shape of the Earth beyond a shadow of a doubt. Now, I want you all to sit down. I see spin. Do not ruin this. I want you guys all to sit down, put on your tinfoil hats, and get face coverings, because this is going to get stupid. He wants to get 2 miles of transparent plastic PVC pipe and fill it with water to show that it's flat. Because the most rigid, transparent thing that you can come up with is PVC. So, yeah, welcome to the derpitude. PVC might be the cheapest, but it bends the fuck. I don't know about the rest of you guys, but all the PVC I see bends. How do you make sure it's straight? How do you make sure it's flush? How do you make sure all those pieces, like a rail line that goes over a curve, isn't separated just a little bit at the top? Because literally, what would be the curvature over 8 feet? 10 feet, 12 feet. How precise are those cuts? How precise is the gluing? How precise are they sitting in those couplers? This is the pinnacle of the experiment from a flat geocentric stationary plane of stupidity.
Right?
Let me look. So you have, go back. Just go back. Okay, so
now remember, Shiva is a fan of Feynman. He believes in the Feynman technique, which means you should be able to explain this to a sixth grader. He's going to hold that to Dave to make sure that he explains it enough that where not only Shiva understands, but Shiva knows that Dave understands. But again, Earth isn't a fucking staircase.
So hold on. You're saying the radius is 3,963 miles. You go 100 miles. And at that point, if the Earth was flat, right?
If the Earth was curved, we'd have the difference of the radius.
Yeah, but
from
before you
here
go,
to here.
no, but that's a flat Earth model.
No, that's the globe model. I'm calculating the drop on a globe.
No. If you were at that point and you were flat and you came out, you want to try to find out if you were going from the. I'm saying that is if the Earth is flat, right?
No, this is if the Earth was a globe. If I went out straight and on a straight line from the tangent of my feet, and I didn't follow the curve, after 100 miles, I would.
This is
be
why this motherfucker is a
1.265.
fucking globe earther. Like seriously, this is why.
Thank you. Yep. Thank you.
He's a globe earther because he doesn't understand dumbassery.
Bro, sorry for the
He's
bad.
playing dumb. How could he not know this shit? How are you going to come debate on a world stage? And
A, it's not a debate, it's a conversation. B, most people don't know this shit because you guys' ideas of fucking measurements are ridiculous. That's why.
I understand
Bro,
both
people
sides.
don't get these fucking questions, bro. Like I tell you,
Yes.
like,
How could he not, though?
my
I could see that
girlfriend's
for-
dad
Right.
is a doctor, bro. These guys are not fucking smart in other topics.
Well, maybe you
They're
shouldn't go
smart
against
biologically.
maybe you shouldn't go against or try to, debate it on a world stage if you don't understand it to the totality that you should.
And my thing is, if you're going to claim engineering expertise and all these degrees and all these accolades, well, fucking follow through. You understand? You want to be all this. You want to be a man. You want to claim all this. Hey, I'm an.
He's trying, Vlad. You guys keep shitting on it as being that's a psyop and that it's false and that it's fake and that everything is going to be a lie. Blah, blah, fucking blah. He's trying to. He's putting up his degrees as collateral. He's putting up his engineering experience, which you don't fucking have, as collateral. He's making it so anybody can do this. And he's doing it to prove it. For sake of the word, Shiva is one of you. Doesn't believe things unless he does it himself. Doesn't believe it unless he can verify it himself. He understands the peer review process. He understands the publication process. He understands the scientific method more than all of you fucks combined. But here's the thing. My daughter's 14 in 9th grade. She understands the scientific method more than you fucks combined. All four of you. I'd put her up against you guys any day of the week. And her first question, when you tell her 8 inches per mile squared, and it's a Pythagorean theorem, right triangle, is going to be, why the fuck are you doing that? A 14-year-old's going to clown you and show you the real fucking earth science-based curvature calculator and show you how to do the math.
An engineer. Hey, I'm only involved with numbers. Well, speak the language. Right now, you're acting as if you don't know your ass from your elbow. It doesn't make any sense.
The smile on his face is showing, right? The smile on his face is showing that he's fucking acting.
Yeah,
You know what we call this on TikTok, bro? We call this making flat earthers. Like he's generating flat earthers by the dumb that he's showing himself to be dumb.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah, he's supposed to be the guy on the
I have no
pedestal.
idea.
It
Like
makes no
this fucking
sense.
flat earth is blowing up on TikTok because we have melting globies in all lives. Like
Sure.
literally, they're all like yelling and melting. That's all what they're fucking doing on TikTok. And there's flat
It's less of a
earthers and
smile,
flat
more of a
earthers
look
and
of
flat
fucking
earthers and
confusion.
flat earth. This guy is making more.
Yep. Exactly.
He's acting
You
like it's the
dealing?
first time he's ever seen this. You know, I don't believe
Yes,
that at all.
exactly. Right. So for him, for his audience, and you want to know something, he knows what it is.
Good night,
Because
Cubby.
I've
Thanks for
gone
swinging
on
by.
his channel. I even made a video about it. I've gone on his channel, and then I made a video about it, and I was like, guys, I'm on Dr. Shiva's live right now. He's running for president, and I'm asking him, hey, Dr. Shiva, what about the flat earth? Dr. Shiva, what about the flat earth? And really the only way he could get my voice out there is by me paying a little bit of money, right? So I put $10 out there. I was like, hey, what about the flat earth? Have you spoken with David Weiss? And then Dr. Shiva was like, yeah, I heard about flat earth. I don't care if the earth is flat or not. So he's heard about it. And I've gone on his
Hearing about it doesn't mean you understand what your guys' fucking stupid-ass measurements mean. He doesn't understand what your guys' evidence of proof means. He doesn't understand anything about you guys because what you guys do is the complete antithesis of what he does. What any engineer does. What any scientist does. Every one of us, when we first heard about flat earth and started getting into debunking channels, we're like, what the fuck? And it's not until you're here for, I don't know, 6 months to a year and you start getting the recycled things, you start thinking, these people are fucking insane. They don't have a fucking clue. Yeah, 3-minute warning. Max, are you still here? Are you setting up? Because Max, I have a problem. I can't raid because I don't have enough subs. So if you're here and you're not subbed, by all means, please drop a like, please drop a sub. We do things like this. We don't necessarily do a lot of reaction videos, but we do some reaction videos, and we also do some other things like talking about highly technical things, breaking them down. We also talk about just conspiracies as a whole. But please, if you don't mind, hit that like and sub button. We are going to go over the maxes here in about 3 minutes. We're going to go ahead and pause this here. What time are we at here? I know I jumped way ahead. I mean, I'm going to watch through this, but I wanted to bring up the Pythagorean theorem because you can see Shiva's look on his faces. What the fuck am I looking at? And to me, it's priceless. But they're doing a part 2 on Sunday, I think, or Saturday, where they're going to finish their video because you can see how far they got. And but now you guys have an idea. This is what the experiment is about. I showed you the emails. I showed you the standards that we're going to do. And the fact that none of these people understand it's supposed to be a collaboration. No one agrees to anything right now. It's not until we get in the room and we start hashing these out that we can get to an agreement. And here's the thing. Shiva will probably be the tie-breaking vote if we need one. If there is a sound experiment, because you know the flirts won't agree to it, if there's a sound experiment, and I'll be honest with you, I do know one of the flat earthers who's on it. And I believe that there is some chance that he's going to be intellectually honest and approve an experiment, not just dismiss everything. Because he's not necessarily part of individual tribes. He kind of just does his own thing. And he's actually gone out to do experiments, and he's done them. Hasn't done them successfully, unfortunately, not through, well, some of it was his own fault, but I digress. There is hope. And I'm being optimistic when I go to this, and I'm hoping that we can get something on the books ready to go and work it out. So yeah, thank you, Probing, for putting up Max's stream. I'm going to go ahead and cut over to see if he's live yet. I think he's waiting on me. So here's what I want you guys all to do. That is the link. Let me pin this real quick because I can, and that's what the only thing I can fucking do in this thing. Except I have to do it in my stream and not where I'm at. Pin message. There is the link to Max's stream. So why don't we all go over to Max's? Let's continue the fucking derp of the triple header. And I will see you guys all back on Sunday, where I got something special. Come on back. You guys are going to enjoy it. Let's put it this way. If you ever wondered if it's a grift outside of Dave, I got proof. That's all I'm going to say. All right, guys, I'll see you over at Max's. It's been a pleasure. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. And thank you for providing the input. As always, I will catch you in the next episode.